City Council chambers, and this meeting is being recorded and broadcasted on Zoom and our public access station, and it is being live translated in Spanish, so thank you to our friends at Holyoke Public Media for helping to make that happen. The clerk will call the roll.
Anderson Burgos.
Here.
Devine.
Here.
Graney.
Here.
McGrath Smith.
Here.
Masonette.
Here.
Murphy Ramboletti.
Here.
Panich.
Here.
Purcell.
Here.
Israel Rivera.
Presente.
Jenny Rivera. Sullivan.
Here.
Tallheimer.
Here.
Bacon.
Here.
If you're able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God bless America.
And the City Council and its citizens.
Thank you. All right. So thank you, everyone, for being here this evening. It's good to see everyone. I don't have any city councilors on Zoom right now. I was the last person to vote first. We're going to poll who's voting first tonight. It's Councilor Purcell.
Oh, bless me.
So welcome to your first time doing that. Yep. So up first on the agenda this evening, we actually have the president's report. And as president, I have a few housekeeping pieces of information this evening, and I also have some remarks. So, and then we'll go into the public comment section, and it's nice to see everyone. Thank you for coming. I wish it was always this full during public comment. If you're watching at home, you can tune in and show up. You're encouraged. All right, so I have a few just brief updates for my colleagues on the council. Yesterday, on behalf of the City Council, I attended the kickoff meeting with the consultants that were procured by the state, and this was related to our city's finances. Overall, the meeting was positive. The representatives from the state, from DLS, they were very, it was actually really, the tone was good. The vibes were good, as the kids say. They were excited about what we have been working on, and they made note of the progress that we've made already. They were excited to hear that the Municipal Finance Modernization Act has moved forward to the full body for a vote this evening. And they overall just look forward to getting started. And there will be weekly check-in meetings that I will be in attendance at. As I get updates, I will be sure to be as best as I can about filling you all in. So just probably expect on my president's report, I will have something related to our DLS update. I know that folks at home have a lot of questions. It's been a long process, so I just wanted to make sure that you all know I am at those meetings, and they are moving forward. Another thing that I was asked to mention is that there will be finalist interviews for the superintendent position of the Holyoke Public Schools. These will be held with the school committee, the full school committee, at the Holyoke High School North Auditorium. These are open to the public, and they will also be streamed online for those who prefer to watch them remotely. All the information that I'm giving you this evening is also available on the website for the Holyoke Public Schools. And there's a big group of folks who are part of the search committee, so I want to thank everyone who volunteered their time to serve our city in that capacity. There are going to be meet and greets. There are 3 candidates, 3 finalists. There will be meet and greets that the public is invited to attend. These are going to be on the same day as each person's respective interview. So February 10th is the first candidate with Carmen Melendez Quintero. That is at 5 p.m. The interview's at 6:30. February 11th, also at 5 p.m., there's a meet and greet with Jacqueline Gasheen. And then at 6:30, her interview will commence. And last, February 12th at 5 p.m., there's a meet and greet with Annie Arzaloza, and that will be also followed by a 6:30 p.m. interview. So I encourage everyone to attend or watch, whatever you can do, And I thank Dr. Jadalet Rivera for sending me that information. The last thing, just more of like a heads up thing, especially for our new counselors. The first meeting of the month in March is when we invite the representatives from the Holyoke, oh, I'm sorry, thank you, it's the second this year. On the 17th, on St. Patrick's Day. Aren't we the luckiest? So that is going to be for the folks from the Holyoke St. Patrick's Parade Committee to come in, recognize their award winners. Yours truly will be up here handing a proclamation to herself. And yeah, just a heads up for that. It's a nice way to kick off the meeting and the week. And I believe those are all of the main upcoming things that I wanted to tell you about. And I think it goes without saying that we have a lot to, Councilor Devine, I'll get back to you in just a second. We do have a lot of important work that we need to focus on this evening, including the Municipal Finance Modernization Act. But I do feel like it's important, especially with the audience that has chosen to show up this evening, for all of us, in just as a body, but myself as president, to address the ongoing conversation that has happened around Councilor Rivera. And I am, for full transparency, I'm going to give him the opportunity to speak this evening. That was planned. And I, as the president of the city council, part of my responsibility is to make difficult decisions that balance fairness, accountability, and the integrity of our work as a legislative body. What I want to say this evening is that since Councilor Rivera's arrest, I have tried to move carefully as president. I'm trying to respect due process while also taking seriously my responsibility to lead with integrity. Councilor Rivera and I did have a discussion for a while, and we both agreed that what would be best is for him to resign from his roles on leadership as vice president and chair of the Development and Government Relations Committee. Holding people accountable matters, but I also believe that accountability does not require cruelty, and disappointment does not require dehumanization. I did not need to file an order this evening about Councilor Rivera. I picked up the phone and I called him and we had a hard conversation because that's what I signed up for when I was president. I can only speak for myself when I say that in the moment that I voted for Councilor Rivera for vice president, and this was before I saw body cam footage, I believed in his ability to effectively run a meeting in my absence. And that is what the vice president role was created to do. That consideration is separate from my personal disappointment and my frustration with his actions. And he is well aware of that. And we have had conversations, and I don't need to broadcast them to everyone here in this room. That is between me as president and one of my colleagues on the city council. The consideration of voting for him as vice president, sorry, you can't be president, love you, bud. From my personal, it's separate. It's separate from my personal disappointment, and it's separate from the things that I had hoped would happen. But I just want to say that both can be true at the same time. I'm not going to get up here and talk to you about my very personal feelings about driving under the influence. If you know me, you probably know. And to insinuate otherwise, I resent that. That being said, I do appreciate and accept Councilor Rivera's resignation from his leadership roles. And any counselor in this room, I'll make it very clear, you all are welcome to file a legal or ethics opinion from the appropriate state authority. Councilor Rivera is also likewise entitled to seek that guidance as well. Those mechanisms exist, and I will respect the outcomes if and when they are pursued. The messages, the phone calls, the voicemails that I received over this last month have impacted me in a way that I'm not going to get up here and explain to you. I don't need to. I go to sleep every night knowing that I'm just trying to do what is best for our city. And I recognize this has been a painful process for so many people. For all of you who are here this evening, I'm glad you're here. You have that right. This has been a painful process for me. It's brought up things I haven't thought of in years. It's been painful for Councilor Rivera. No one sets out to do the things that happened that night. All I'm going to say is that I know no matter what I do, my decisions are not going to satisfy everyone. I knew that when I signed up to run for office. I knew that when I offered to be president of this council. I have respect for every single person in this room who shows up and acts for what is best for the city. I believe that we are all here in this room because we want what is best for the city of Holyoke. We may not agree, that's fine. I'm going to continue to do my best to lead with integrity and to act with fairness and to do what other presidents have done before me, to hold space for both responsibility and grace. And all of that being said, we're going to vote on vice president at the next meeting. By then, I will announce new committee assignments. We will move forward. We will continue to do the important work that the people of Holyoke put us in these seats to do. I thank you all for your patience. I am not perfect, and I will be the first person to admit it. But I love this city, and I continue showing up every single day because I care about the future of our city. At this time, I would like to offer Councilor Rivera the opportunity to address this, his resignation. If there's anything you want to add, I am going to give that opportunity because everyone in this room has this opportunity all the time. Councilor Rivera, is there anything you want to add?
Yes, if I may, Madam President, and thank you. I appreciate you sharing, appreciate your candor. And at the same time, I also appreciate everyone that's here and that has showed face. Whether you're with me or against me, for me, that's not the point right now. In the public process, I really believe in everyone having their fair share, the public comment, being able to express themselves. So I'm glad to see so many people here. Hopefully everyone can speak up and come to the mic and express how they feel. That being said, I'll start with a quote first, and it's something that stood out to me as recent. It kind of resonates within the city of Holyoke. It's actually a quote from Bad Bunny. The only thing that is more powerful than hate is love. So please, we need to be different. Holyoke is at a crossroads, and it's been at that point for quite some time. And the thought process with this new election and how we move forward, it would have been great to move forward in a place where there would be no more controversy at the council. That being said, I want to begin first by apologizing to my family, to my wife, Jenny, to my daughters, Michaela, Isla, and Gabble, Izzy. I am sorry for the fear and the pain and the stress that my actions have caused them. I'd like to apologize to my mom. I think for me, it resonates a little more having grown up with an alcoholic father. And the body cam footage doesn't bother me as much as it would bother my mom seeing that in the moment. So again, I would like to apologize to her too as well. I would like to acknowledge the Massachusetts State Troopers and the great work that they did in handling the situation that they did. Things could have went totally different, and they actually might be justified in the moment to do that. So the de-escalation tactics and the way they approached the situation, I commend them 110%. I really believe that we should be working towards something like that here in the city too as well. To the people of Holyoke, to the council, my colleagues that voted me in, even the ones that didn't, they probably would have voted me if I asked them ahead of time. And I didn't have this situation. I apologize. I'm sorry. I know that I've meant a lot to the community just because of where I come from, what I stand for, the voice that I bring to the council, the perspective that I bring to the council, which is totally different. I'm not cookie cutter. I said it from the beginning. I am not a politician, even though I sit in this seat. People want to hold me accountable to that standard, and I truly get it. I'm growing and I'm learning. I'm hoping to get to the level that people are holding me to, right? I'd like to be clear and direct with everyone. It was irresponsible for me to get behind the wheel inebriated. I put lives at risk, including my own. I am grateful that no one was physically harmed, but I understand that my actions caused real damage to public trust. I own that fully. I still have not seen the video myself, even though it's been shared everywhere and everybody's making money off of it except for me. Ultimately, I seen the first 2 minutes and I couldn't watch the rest of it because it literally reminded me of my father as a kid growing up. I can't fathom that. So that's that part, right? I recognize that seeing the video is not just painful for me, but painful for many of my colleagues, painful for people in the community that the things that I said may have impacted them in ways that they feel disappointed, do not know how to respond, or are responding in ways that they know best. And I allow the space for them to feel the way they want to feel with that. Ultimately, for me, the disappointment, I have no choice but to accept. I'd like to speak directly to the concerns raised by members of the Holyoke Police Department. And a lot of you guys are here, so I'll actually look at you when I say this, right? So that way I can talk to you directly. Understand that my line is open. It has been before. Many of you guys have called me in the past for situations, and we've met in different locations to talk about different things. Nothing changes. You could have done this here and then, and we can do that later. There's no hate or no ill will coming from me, but understand that I understand that some of the officers may fear that I would retaliate against them because of this arrest. I want to be clear. The words that I uttered that night do not reflect me, of my respect for my role as a counselor or my responsibility to serve the city of Holyoke. Literally, it does not reflect that. I would like to say this to all the city employees as well within the city. My disappointment does not reflect the city and what you guys feel towards any of the stuff that I said. What I said in this video came from a place of inebriation. I was intoxicated. I was irrational. I was fearful. Having served 5 years in state prison, getting the handcuffs put on my arms, it wasn't a surreal moment. It wasn't a moment that I would wish on anyone. For me, I have to say, it's not easy for me to get to this point and humble myself in a situation where I know that I kind of put myself into it, right? But the reality is, this is about something bigger than how I feel. This is more about how the city feels, how you guys feel, and how you guys can continue to do your work in good faith moving forward. And I want to make sure that you guys understand that it is not my intention, and it will never be my intention, to put a kink in any of the work you do or to bar you or create barriers for the work that you guys are doing in promoting public safety within the city of Holyoke. Do I have a different perspective on how public safety looks? That's okay. We can disagree when that moment comes. But for me to stop what you guys are trying to do, that is not my intention. Now, regarding the release of the body cam footage, I do have concerns about the process and the precedent it sets moving forward. I do believe those questions deserve thought and thoughtful review, but through the appropriate channels. And I do not want to distract the main issue with procedural matters. And the main issue is accountability, reflection, and repair. So I'd like to be clear in stating that I am taking this moment seriously. I am committed to addressing my relationship with alcohol, continuing my own healing and my own traumatic experiences with regards to incarceration and with regards to my own mental health with things that have to do with substance abuse. My goal moving forward is to act more than speak, is to lead by example and to earn and rebuild trust within the community, not just through words, but also by action. I will not resign from my council position as I was elected by the people of Holyoke. I will step down from leadership positions as it has caused too much distraction for the council to be able to move forward in a way that I feel makes sense. For me, Holyoke, although I wasn't born here, is my home. I've been here since I can remember anything. A lot of faces that are here I've seen since I was 12 to 13 years old in the Flats neighborhood. It's a pleasure to see you again. And I think for me, Holyoke, believe it or not, made me. Everybody in this room had a role in who I am today. A lot of you guys have seen me around since I was 12, 13 years old, as mentioned before, and have had different experiences coming across with me. And I've always felt like I'm a part of what the youth deal with on a regular basis. And I am the result of that. And I am trying my best to move forward and lead by example for the kids and the youth and the people in the community that do not feel represented, that do not feel like they can walk into council chambers and express their voice, the ones that feel like their roads don't get fixed. There are a lot of people in the community that would like to see different impact, but don't feel like that the community works for them. That's why I ran in the first place. That's why I'm here. And that's why I will continue to serve for the next 2 years. So again, I apologize to everyone I offended for all the things that were said, for driving while under the influence, which is the most important situation here, right? This is what matters the most, is the law that was broken. And I want to make sure that people know that it is not okay, that the drinking and driving is not okay, and that doesn't get lost in all of this. I just want to make sure it does not get lost in all of this. Thank you for the time, and I appreciate you guys once again for your support. I'd like to also thank everyone that's called, emailed, reached out to my family with regards to support. It is what it is. Thank you.
Thank you. So up next for the city council agenda, we have public comment. And the last few public comment times of our meetings have been more dramatic than I would like and that's probably an understatement, but that is because we can't seem to agree on whether or not you're supposed to state your name and address for the record. If you look at public comment rule 7B, it addresses it, and it nowhere in any of the rules does it say anything about saying a name and address. And I know that we have orders that are filed or being filed. There's discussions happening that are going to clarify this rule more. And so because I'm the president and I want to make sure that this runs smoothly, folks will still have 2 minutes for time. We have 7 folks signed up on this list, and I'm not sure if we have any hands up on Zoom. And there was a comment that was sent to me via email that someone wanted me to read into the record. However, the past, what we typically do if someone sends a comment via email, we don't actually read it into the record. That really kind of sets a precedent where we want folks to be delivering the comment either in person or on Zoom. So I can have Jeffrey circulate that with all of you, and if it needs to be in the public record, that's fine. But I don't want to get into a habit of doing that. So if folks are able to join on Zoom, that's great. But all of that being said, you're gonna have 2 minutes. Everyone who signed up, you're gonna have 2 minutes. For this evening, while we figure this out, I would prefer that if folks want to state their name and address into the record, they can, and if not, then we will just allow folks to say their ward and the city that they live in, since it's definitely not clear in the rules. And so since we respect the rules, I'm going to follow the rules, and it's not super clear. So I'm making that decision. All that being said, I'm going to keep track of time this evening. I got these cool laminated signs. They're going to tell you when you have 1 minute or when your time is up, because I don't want to interrupt you. And folks, if you are Zooming in and you want to say anything for the record, I can't offer you the same cool option of these laminated signs, so I will have to interrupt you if you're speaking, and I apologize. That being said, I've got my list in front of me, and I appreciate so far the respect that's been given this evening. I want to remind folks that we don't need to clap, we don't need to hoot and holler. We're trying to keep this in decorum is the name of the game. All right, so up first, I have David Owen. It says 12 Mason Road. And hold on 1 second, David, because I am going to get my timer going. And just make sure you speak very clearly into the microphone. And it sounds like it's on.
Is it on?
Yes. So once you state your name, I will start keeping track of time.
Okay. Thank you. David Owen, 12 Mason Road, Ward 5. Tonight's agenda has Article 27, Article 52, and Article 53. These are all relative to financial questions the city faces. January 28th of last year, the City Council voted in favor of a charter change for the position of treasurer. And it was supported by the mayor, the acting treasurer at the time, and a special ballot vote on the part of citizens. That was, as I said, a year ago. Another year has passed, another year of incidents, state orders revealing incidents, prolonged debate of the pros and cons, corrections to the system incurring additional expenses, a third year of lacking balanced books, a November 25th vote by this council questioning why the delay in action. The state did extend an olive branch to the city, all good news. We also did see an increase in our taxes. So all of this being said, like everything else tonight, in the interest of accountability, with no monetary pun intended, I respectfully request the council request Mayor Garcia to complete the due diligence and expedite the addressing of the inherent system shortcomings by publicly posting the position of treasurer without further delay. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. All right, up next, I have Lori Belanger.
Good evening. My name is Lori Belanger. I live at 16 Roland Street, Ward 5. I'm speaking to you tonight as a voter and a taxpayer. And I'm also going to speak in reference to the DLS letter that was dated January 20th of this year. Tonight, I encourage every stakeholder, whether you're watching on video, audio, or social media, to read the DLS letter dated January 20th, 2026. It is an abject disaster. Tonight, do we have a treasurer? On the letter from January 20th, the state went out and procured Clifton Larson and Associates to come in and reconcile the problems we've had the last couple years. They are a vendor and not a treasurer. What is the plan? If you look at the ballot vote, there was supposed to be an appointed treasurer the first Monday in February. So where are we? That question needs to be answered. Has this city council and previous city council has this council and the previous city councils acted with the administration in unity to plan and create a plan to coincide with the voters' wishes from the January 25 ballot, appointing a treasurer, a qualified treasurer? It appears tonight, at this moment, we do not have a treasurer. I suggest the mayor, if appropriate, and that's to appoint on an interim basis CLA. They seem qualified. They are vetted by the state, and they're going
We're
to be
at
doing
time.
our reconciliations.
Thank you.
And I entertain a motion for another minute.
Another minute? Okay.
Okay, my mistake. I didn't even, all right,
There was
thank
a
you.
motion been made and
Much-
seconded to suspend the rules to allow for another minute. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank
Any
you.
opposed?
Much appreciated. I suggest the mayor, if possible, to appoint CLA as our acting interim treasurer. They're vetted, and they're going to be doing work on behalf of the city. Not having an appropriate treasurer with qualifications deviates and is a violation of the vote by the voters in January of 25. We need a plan to make this happen, and it seems like the process is going on and on. And my question is, as you talk and vote tonight on the Municipal Modernization Act, is the intent to combine the treasurer-collector position? Can anybody answer? And how does that affect legally the voters' will? I am frustrated at the issues that have lingered. I hope we can get to the bottom of it. Madam President, I'm very supportive of your efforts on behalf of the city, but I think we have two issues. We want to get reconciled,
We're at time.
but, you know, how can you legally combine both positions?
Appreciate it.
And if we need to go to the courts, then so be it.
Okay.
I will go pro se.
We are
Thank
at
you.
time.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
Absolutely. I've also been notified that there may be an issue still with the Boxcast stream. Do you think that's... Hoyok Media is working on it. This meeting is still being recorded, so everyone can go back and watch, and it's on Zoom. Okay, up next...
He has it running again, actually.
What?
He has it running.
Okay, it's working. Never mind. Up next, I have Andrew DiNapoli.
Madam President, thank you. I understand I'm only going to have 2 minutes, but I've practiced this thing 10 times. I can only get it down to 2 minutes and 10 seconds. So I know you're going to start showing me the sign. It's not that
I got you.
I don't want to be disrespectful to you or the council, but I
Thank you.
2 minutes, 10 seconds more.
No problem. Go ahead.
My name is Andrew DiNapoli. I live at 475 Beach Street here in the city of Holyoke. We are here because of the recent publicly known incident involving one of our city's councilors. During that arrest, he repeatedly used a racial slur, attempted to use his elected position to avoid accountability, stated that he hates the Holyoke police, and threatened to cut our budget in retaliation for being arrested. Our concerns relate to the broader implications for public trust, officer morale, and the integrity of city governance. The repeated use of the racial slur by an elected official is a direct contradiction of the values this city is entrusted to uphold, as Holyoke rightly publicly promotes diversity, equity, and inclusion. Yet he repeatedly used the most offensive racial slur himself, and we find it alarming that only 3 members of this council has condemned this racist language. He openly bragged that even when sober, he routinely runs red lights throughout the city, showing a conscious choice of being a direct threat to public safety, even when using his best judgment when sober. Silence in the face of such conduct is not neutrality. It is an act of avoidance that demands direct attention and resolution from our elected leaders when mature leadership is needed. We're not here because of a mistake in judgment that led to an OUI. We're here because of how this person chose to make decisions and handle themselves in the face of circumstances they themselves put in front of them. He was also appointed to the Ordinance Committee after his arrest, which is notable given that the police department is responsible for enforcing city ordinances. When the conduct of an elected official includes racial slurs, threats of retaliation, and attempts to use political power to avoid arrest, we have a responsibility and an obligation to speak. This is a question of ethics, accountability, and the standards we expect from those who hold public power. The people of Holyoke deserve to know where their elected leaders stand. Our officers deserve to know whether this council supports them when they are threatened or demeaned for doing their jobs. And this city deserves leadership that upholds the law and the values it publicly claims to champion, not just in theory, but also in practice. If the councilor has decided not to resign from the city council, he should at the very least recuse himself from any matters related to the Holyoke Police Department. Both unions are highly in favor of Councilor Vacan's order number 55 that is in your agenda for tonight's meeting. Thank you, Council.
Thank you. All right. Up next, I have Dario Jara. Dario Jara. Jara. Dario, same thing. You can introduce yourself, and then I will start the timer.
Good night, everyone. My name is Dario Jara, and I live on 131 Westfield Road. I live in a 3-family home where I rent out the other 2 apartments. My house was built in 1900 and has been registered as a 3-family home since 1998. I also pay the taxes for a 3-unit home. Last year, the building department gave me 18 months to outfit my home for 3 units, requiring lit exit signs, exit inspections from licensed engineers, and I have complied with these requirements, and the only thing I have left to do is have another exit built to the 3rd floor. However, I cannot acquire the permit for the second means of egress due to a home being R2 zone for houses up to only 2 units. On January 21st, I had a meeting with the building department, and they are now prohibiting me from having 3 rented units in my home due to being an R2 zone. However, as I stated, the home complied with all building codes when it was outfitted for 3 units in 1998. The only option they gave me is to apply for rezoning. However, I have a proof of 4 other homes in my immediate vicinity within this zone who have 3 rented units in their homes. It is public information. I don't believe it to be fair to only limit one home to 2 units when the neighborhood is clearly filled with 3-unit homes. I worked very hard to buy my home in November of 2020. I have been a good and just landlord to my tenants, offering affordable housing in a community that has a great need for affordable units. I also want to provide a good home for my wife and 3 children. If you are able to help me with this, to solve this issue, I will really appreciate it.
Perfect. Thank you. Up next, I have Claire, Ward 3. Claire, just give me 1 second so I can restart the... All right.
Good?
Yeah.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Claire. I live in Ward 3 in Holyoke, and I was convicted of a DUI in 2015. Same result, by the way. I'm here to speak. There's a lot on this agenda that I very strongly support. I'm really, really encouraged to see some of the ecological initiatives. I think that that's really nice. And I wanted to encourage the council to think of the Municipal Vulnerabilities Project in terms of sharing the results of the pollinator studies and things like that, because we are tasked with creating a seed project for that. But I also wanted to say that I very, very strongly support also item 42, which is outlines a community response division. As you know, I've come up here many, many times talking about opioid abatement funds and the opioid response in the city and how people are dying, and a community response division, as is outlined here, is a very reasonable and logical response to public health crisis that do not require armed intervention. I also just want to say that there are models for this across the state and elsewhere that have been very, very successful, that are take a strength-based approach to a community health hazard that is not necessarily a police hazard. As many of us who have a history of substance use know, it is so much harder to get any sort of healing from very acute trauma when one is being accosted by large amounts of, aggressive, well, mostly men.
Motion to suspend the rules to allow for one more minute.
Motion's been made and seconded to suspend the rules to allow for one more minute of public comment. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Deeply appreciated. Thank you. And then I also wanted to say that in terms of the opioid abatement funds, the development government relations DGR committee is tasked with making a recommendation as to the grant requests for that money, $1 million, which the city has had for quite some time. And I just wanted to invite anybody who would like more information to look at RISE, which is a statewide organization, RIZE, that is in charge of making sure that municipalities are following recommended processes when it comes to the disbursement of this money and the process, which I believe has not been followed at the fullest extent it could be. The department that is managing the money has requested about 75% of it for administrative fees, but then to recreate services badly.
We're at time.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, up next I have Scott Golding, Quinn Drive. Scott, let me just reset my timer. Okay, whenever you're ready.
Hi, my name's Scott Goulding. I live at 19 Quinn Drive in Holyoke. I'm a lifelong resident here. I'm here tonight speaking on behalf for the Holyoke Teachers Association and our approximately 500 members that are in our negotiations right now, actually tonight. We have been working diligently with the negotiating committee in the city, trying to come to a fair and equitable contract. We want what's best not only for the teachers, but also what's best for our students. I've been teaching at Dean Volk for about 3.5 years now. This is kind of my retirement thing, and I'm absolutely proud to be able to do this for our students in the city, and we have so many other dedicated teachers that are working towards that also. The thing that we're mostly going for is that we're trying to become more equitable and also try to catch up with what a lot of the other surrounding communities do. And when I say that, I'm sure a lot of people think automatically with money, which it is not entirely about. It has to do with work days, it has to do with the hours that we work, the time prep, sick time, stuff like that. I bring this up mostly also because of the fact that we've been under receivership and no longer are, and this is the first time we have been able to negotiate in a long time. And I'm up here just asking for your continued support, and I appreciate all that you do and to consider us. And I know that we have several contracts right now to think about, but this is a big one for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, up next I have Sarah Quiglia. I hope I said that right. I apologize if I didn't. Harrison Ave?
Yep, it's Sarah Qualia.
Qualia, thank you.
13 Harrison Ave, Ward 3. And I just wanted to say that I am in support of numbers 42, 50, and 51 tonight.
Thank you. All right. We have one person on Zoom with their hand raised. It just says iPhone. We're going to take a risk here that you're a real person. And just please state your name, and then I'll start the timer.
Hi, I'm Johanna Hammer. I am a real person.
Thank you.
1 Magnolia Ave, Ward 6. And I just wanted to say that I also am in support of agenda items 50 and 51. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm not seeing anyone else on Zoom. So we're going to get into our meeting agenda. Continue. Counselor Bacon.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend rules to take item 55 out of order, please, in light of our public speak.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to suspend the rules and take up item 55 out of order in light of public speak. All those, let me read it into the record first. 55 was filed by Councilor Bacon, ordered that the City Council requests City Councilor at Large Israel Rivera to recuse himself on votes affecting the police department while on probation, and ethics conflicts of interest complaints are pending. On the motion to suspend the rules, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. So, Councilor Bacon.
Thank you. I would just like to make a motion that we receive and adopt this. It is simply a request. We each, of course, make our own decisions and determinations about which votes we do abstain from, and that is acknowledged. So it's simply, I'm asking it to be received and adopted as a request to the counselor.
So that the request will go to the counselor?
Yes.
Okay. Under discussion, so that was a motion was made to receive and adopt. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay. Under discussion, I see Councilor Devine's hand, and then Councilor Rivera and Councilor Panich.
Thank you, Madam President. Just a little confusion. Request that City Councilor at Large Rivera recuse himself on votes affecting the police department while on probation, and ethics conflicts of interest complaints are pending. My thought process would be to table this until those ethics complaints are actually done and that we get to read them.
If that's
but
the motion,
to not
I'll second
read
it.
them. I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, I said it. If that's the motion, I'll second it.
Okay, that's a motion then.
Okay,
Until
so-
we actually get that, I think that's the best way to approach this. Because I remember when certain counselors, the law department had told Counselor Puello that he had to get off the council, and certain counselors went with him to court, and it was judged that he had to come back on the council. So I don't think we want to go back through that all over again. So that's why I suggest that we table it until we get all the information.
Okay, so the motion was made and seconded to table.
Until we get all the information that's in this order.
And that means that it's tabled, right?
Yeah.
It has to be.
No discussion.
Yep.
No discussion.
Okay.
Just have to vote.
All right, so the motion was made and seconded to table item 55 until the conflict of interest
Point of
complaints are, no, we can't have any more discussion. Are you looking for a point of order? Sorry, I didn't hear you. Councilor Rivera?
Just because, and I know we can't, I mean, if it is what it is. If I can't do it, then tell me I can't do it. So the situation is they're asking me to do something, and I appreciate.
This is this a point of order?
Yeah.
It is. I'm going to say that whatever. Go ahead. It is. You guys do what you want with my situation.
Okay, I'm just trying to be fair here, like procedurally. We can't have a discussion. I get it, but it is what it is. Like, I'm just following the procedure that I'm supposed to follow. So on the motion to table item 55, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
Okay. So the ayes have it, and it will be tabled.
Madam,
Counselor Graney,
yeah, quickly, I know we,
can you speak into your microphone, please?
yes.
It's just so that my mom is watching from home, Counselor Graney, and she wants to hear you.
I'll apologize to her when I see her.
Okay.
I just wanted to make a silent, a moment of silence for Dick Pratt,
Yep.
a longtime Hoyoke resident who passed away recently. His children are all servants of Hoyoke, and especially his son, who was the former chief of police. So I'd just like to have the council recognize the family that we share their grief with Dick. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I would love to recognize that now. Just a moment of silence. Thank you. Thanks, Counselor Graney. All right.
Madam President?
Counselor Sullivan.
If I may, I'd like to take one other out of order here.
Yep.
Well, actually, to 68 and 66.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to suspend the rules and take items 68 and 66. Did I say that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, 68 and 66 out of order. On the motion to suspend the rules, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I'll briefly read those into the record as needed. Sorry, I feel like I just coughed on Jeffrey. All right, 66 is filed by Counselor Sullivan, ordered that the city authorize the mayor and other required departments to sign a lease agreement for storage of snow at 20 Water Street, Holyoke, Mass, for a total of 3 months due to the snowstorm that occurred January 25th through January 27th. Considering the emergency need of this agreement, it is asked that the city council rule on this immediately as opposed to going through a subcommittee. For the proposed lease was included, and thank you, Jeffrey, for sending the most updated version multiple times. Appreciate you. And 68 is from our DPW director, Michael Gallagher. It's a communication regarding a lease agreement on Water Street for snow storage. So these are both related. Counselor Sullivan.
Okay, so my motion then would be to receive, adopt, and take final action on 66.
Motion's been made and seconded to receive, adopt, and take final action on 66.
And
Under discussion.
and receive 68.
Second.
Second.
Oh, and receive 68. So
Can I see 68?
that was, the motion was made and seconded. And Counselor Sullivan, under discussion?
Thank you.
Okay, so just to set the stage for 68, I'll read it briefly. This is from Mike Gallagher, the Director of Public Works, requesting the approval of a contract to allow the city to temporarily store snow at 23 Water Street. In the past years, the city relied on municipal lots on North Canal Street for snow storage. However, that lot is no longer available due to current use by nearby businesses. Other locations previously used by the city include properties on Water Street, owned by HG&E, and on Sargent Street at the end of Ray Street. They are also no longer viable, and they have been since replaced and developed with solar installations. Without an appropriate snow storage site, the Department of Public Works faces significant limitations in responding to major snow events. If we experience another substantial storm, it will be increasingly difficult to clear the streets safely and effectively without extending parking restrictions or potential public safety concerns. Approval of this lease will provide the city with a practical solution to help maintain passable roadways while minimizing impacts on residents and businesses. For reference, the following areas represent general priorities for snow removal. These needs are addressed based on conditions and are not listed in a specific order. Streets and intersections requiring urgent safety attention. Downtown metered areas and nearby narrow streets. High Street and Maple Street areas outside meter zones, narrow residential neighborhoods throughout the city, city-owned properties. Respectfully submitted, Mike Gallagher. So, in regards to the needs for this, I think it's obvious to everybody in the council, they've received numerous calls, I think, everywhere regarding snow removal. A totally different topic as far as the equipment and stuff. I'd really like to thank Mayor Garcia for his leadership in bringing this problem forward. This is something we haven't seen in the city in years. It's, I don't know how to put this, but this is a catastrophic event. The potential for, just even driving down around the city today, over a week after the event, I saw people in wheelchairs and walkers in the streets with cars having to maneuver around them, okay? I had myself a tactical vehicle from the fire department, could not get by on Pleasant Street, this just yesterday, because the cars couldn't pull over to get out of their way, okay? So I think the mayor took the appropriate action and showed good leadership in jumping the gun a bit, but getting something going so we can start removing the snow. It needs some place to go. It can't go to some places where it has in the past. And in the past, there's been smaller snowstorms with smaller removal things. We've used Springdale Park once. That was an absolute disaster. It turned into a swamp down there for almost a month, well into the season for soccer and baseball. And the other thing is, now with the using of parks, we have other problems that have developed over the years. As we remove the snow, we're also coming up with syringes and a lot of other debris that is going to melt, and we're not going to want to use these kind of places to have it. So I was able to facilitate with the mayor the use of a property where Sublime was originally planning to go. Right now, it is not under contract with a buyer, and the owner has agreed to a very short-term lease at a very reasonable price for 3 months. I assure everybody that even though the lease is only for 3 months, that snow will be on that site well into July. Already to this moment, over 100 truckloads of city snow have been brought there, with several hundred more to go.
Thank you, Councilor Sullivan. More discussion. I have Councilor Devine, and then Councilor Bacon, and then Councilor Panic, and Councilor Purcell.
I'd like to thank Councilor Sullivan for filing this order. I don't think there's one of us on this council that hasn't driven through the city, and especially when you get to a corner, you almost have to edge yourself out because the snowbanks are so high. And I think it's extremely important, and a lot of people are asking me why the ban is still on. Thank God the ban's still on, because I can give you an example. Today or yesterday, I was going over Hillside Avenue, and all I kept saying is, please, God, don't let anybody come the opposite way that I'm going, because we could not have fit through, okay? So that's why this really needs to be done. And I'd also like to, having a handicap placard myself, even though I don't have to have it everywhere I go, there are people in wheelchairs, there are people in crutches that need that. And the snowbanks have covered up their ability to get into that handicapped spot. So we certainly need to do that. And one of the myths that I'm really happy to talk about tonight is that we're not doing it just for the parade. A lot of people say the only reason we get the snow up is because the parade is coming. Well, let me tell you, the parade's not for 2 months. This needs to be done now. So, Mike, I appreciate what you've done.
Thank you. Councilor Bacon?
Thank you, Madam President. My question around this license is, how are we going to pay for it? Because we don't have any information relative to that aspect of this license.
I would allow the maker of the order to address that if you would like.
I would have to defer to the mayor on that. All
Okay.
I know is we have a contract here, and our vote is not how to fund it, it's just to approve the contract.
The mayor's actually on Zoom.
Oh.
Oh, and Mike Bissonette, Attorney Bissonette has his hand up. Thank you. Attorney Bissonette?
Good evening.
The mayor.
Motion to make-
I'll have you go first.
For the mayor.
And I think Mike Gallagher is there too, right?
Yes.
His department now. I don't know if you wanted to refer to Mike. I'm happy to speak on it. Mike's there. Let me know.
Oh, Mike, I didn't even see you in the back. That's who you were pointing at. I'm sorry. I couldn't even see you. Mike is literally
I'm here if you
here
need me.
Motion to
in
suspend
council
the rules
chambers.
to allow our interim DPW director, Michael Gallagher, to speak to us.
I thought you were pointing, I don't know
Second.
what. It's been a long day. Motion's been made and seconded to suspend the rules to allow our DPW director to answer that question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thanks, Mike. Sorry about that.
Hello, everyone. So I did do some research ahead of this, and under the state law that same state law that covers allowing municipalities to deficit spend for snow removal, it also allows municipalities to lease and rent property for the purpose of dumping the snow on it and storing it there. And we're not the only community that's ever had lease property to store snow. And that is, it would be considered a snow removal expenditure, which I can tell you the snow removal budget is in deficit. I do not have any exact numbers for you, but that deficit is going to continue to grow.
Okay. Thank you, Mike. Councilor Bacon, is that good, or do you?
Yes, I understand the deficit spending concept. Thank you.
Okay.
So it would go into that.
Okay. Thank you. I have Councilor Panich, then Councilor Purcell, and then Councilor Greeny.
Well, first I want to reiterate what everybody else has said. We obviously need this, and thank you for the work. And I also have a question that came from a constituent. So through the president, the kind of debris that you mentioned, the needles, not to mention things like just the salt that you would expect from roadside snow, is there any way to ameliorate that, or is it going to wind up in groundwater in the Connecticut River?
Councilor Sullivan, would you like to answer?
Yes. So in the contract, it also calls for the cleanup and restoration of the site to its original condition and the removal of any trash and rubbish found in there. As far as the Connecticut River is in no jeopardy at all. The site is protected on that side by a flood wall and also storm drains that lead to the wastewater treatment plant.
Great, thank you so much.
All set?
Yep.
Councilor Purcell.
I want to thank everybody that's involved in this, Mike, and DPW administrator, and especially the mayor. I'm a freaking walker. I walk more than I drive, and I'm that crazy guy in Ward 4 that you see walking around everywhere. This is a public safety issue as far as I'm concerned, and this keeps people safe, and it makes our city run, just like Dunkin' Donuts. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Greeny.
Yeah, quickly, this is addressed to Superintendent Gallagher.
Yep.
Director.
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 That's right.
Director. My bad. Director Gallagher, do you have a list of priorities where the snow removal is going to take place?
I did a brief outline on the memo I sent to City Council for this. We're going to after we've started in the area down here for the downtown area, but one of the next things I want to do is focus more on the some of the corners people were just mentioning, and they where you can't see coming out onto an intersection. And I also want to focus on the narrowest of streets. The Hillside Ave corridor, as Councilor Devine mentioned, we've got our neighborhoods off of South Elm and Carlton Street and Chapin Street behind the Save-A-Lot and the old Food Mart. Those are some really narrow streets back there. Brown Avenue area. There's some streets that we need to target in that neighborhood. South Holyoke, South Summer Street and South Holyoke comes to mind. Center Street, I'm planning to have the snow removed off of in the next few days in the area between Canal Street and Lyman Street. We're going to end up going through some neighborhoods where there might be some complaints because we might do one street in a neighborhood and we might not do all of them because if we go through an entire neighborhood, we might not be getting to some streets that really need it. Some streets are narrower than others, and where we have issues and we get some complaints from, say, the police or fire department that they're having a lot of trouble accessing those streets. That's how we're going to prioritize it as we go along. I'm not just going to take care of any particular neighborhoods in general. I am going to be targeting what I think the greatest need is as we move forward.
Thank you, Councilor Graney.
One other quick question. Did you run into any problems as far as illegal parking is concerned in this last storm? Because certainly I know Hillside Avenue pretty well myself, but did you run into any parking problems, and was anybody towed?
Yep.
I know the police department towed vehicles. We did run into problems. We did also, I will say that so far this winter, we had the most cooperation and enforcement with the parking ban. The mayor and members of this council were also actively out there encouraging people and going door to door to move cars. So we had more cooperation this storm than we've had so far this winter. And there's always, I don't think I've ever in all my years remember a storm where there was not people parked on the wrong side of the road. It seems to be a regular occurrence. Even though we announced the parking ban several days in advance, and we really got the message out there, I think there's just people that do not tune into any of the mechanisms we use to put that message out there.
And there's a lot of people that don't tune into anything. Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I have Councilor Tallhammer.
This is also a great moment to thank the DPW for their work on this.
Yes. Mike, your first storm as DPW director.
Yep. And also to give a shout out to C-Click Fix, which has been a huge, at least in my ward, been a great resource and hopefully is not overloading the DPW with all kinds of stuff. But this might be a good way to figure out other high priority places if people are posting a lot about them. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilor Israel Rivera.
Yes, thank you. I'll second the work that was being done, and congratulations on your first storm as director. Right? But I think one thing that I noticed as a walker, right, is the bus stops. Yeah. So I think, do we have a plan in the bus stops? We don't necessarily have to haul out all the snow, but I think like clearing up paths for people to be able to stand on the actual sidewalk waiting for the bus instead of in the middle of the road. I live off of Brown, and when I'm walking by Save-A-Lot, I see a lot of people standing in the street going down Save-A-Lot because the bus stop is blocked. So it's like, do we have a plan to kind of clean out? And it would be difficult to do them all, but I'm saying at least the ones that are the most frequently used, if it's possible. And I'm sorry for putting more work on.
I do not have a plan for cleaning out the bus stops. They are, I believe they're supposed to be the responsibility of PVTA. But we do,
so PVTA has said that that's the city's responsibility.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Oh, sounds like a potential meeting that we could have.
However,
All that
we are,
order.
like, as we go along through the snow removal process, and if there's any pressing issues, we always try to help and take care of what we can. And I know through our snow removal process, some of the bus stops downtown have already been opened up. And we'll keep working, and we're going to be busy for quite a while.
Good, thank you. I have Councilor Anderson Burgos, then Councilor Jenny Rivera, and then Councilor Graney again.
First of all, I want to apologize for speaking out of term. Thank you for all the hard work that you did over the past few days. I was one of the counselors that actually drove out with DPW. Not only that, I also went out early in the morning, and what alerted me was Councilor Graney mentioned Hillside, and at least in the Ward 6 portion of Hillside, I knocked, I can't count how many doors telling them to move their cars. So what I want to tell to the public is that together, if we communicate, if we watch news, I think if we keep ourselves well informed, we can prepare ourselves for these storms, right? And there's a greater conversation that I'm about to have that's to come. But rest assured, this is not something that's going to fall short in my memory. It's right here. I've seen and heard your complaints. And I can't thank the dedicated individuals. That includes DPW, emergency management team, and the Holyoke Police Department, working all together to make sure that our constituents are safe. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Jenny Rivera?
Thank you, Madam President. Mike, thank you. I'm in full support of your order. Thank you for writing this up. And also, I want to thank Mike Gallagher. I was one of the counselors out as well during the storm, and I did put on a Facebook post that please, basically, don't complain. And just let me know which are the streets that were of concern. As I was getting texts and I was getting inbox with these, I would call Mike. Mike was out there. Mike was going to pick me up at 9 o'clock at night. I give in because I was tired. But Mike was going to pick me up so we could go through my ward where there was cars still on the street. And DPW was out there. They were trying to go around the cars. And every time I called Mike, whether I called him at 6:30 in the morning, sorry, Mike, he was up. What street, Jenny? Getting it done. He did that throughout the day with his crew. So all these complaints that people did, and I very rarely saw a thank you to DPW. People should really think about that. They were out there. And also, like our counselor, Nicole Masonette, her husband works for DPW. While Nicole was home with her kids, he was out there losing sleep because he's taking care of the residents of Holyoke. And I did see a few posts thanking him for being out there and helping out. So I think as a city, we really need to take this into consideration, that we need to thank our employees, because Mike, you and your crew did amazing.
Yep.
And I was upset. I was one of the ones that were extremely upset to hear all the negativity about them. It was a huge storm. So if you lived here in Holyoke, you know that storm, we hadn't gotten snow. We were blessed, but not having snow for a very long time. And Mike, you guys did an amazing job. DPW, Holyoke PD, and the CERT team. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor Graney and then Councilor Purcell.
Just quickly on a personal note, kudos to Jeffrey. I called Jeffrey yesterday. I came into the city hall to pay my taxes, and there was just a little swath of path into the handicapped way. A wheelchair could not have possibly gone through there. He notified, I guess, Mike, and they took care of that situation to widen that path out so that the people that were coming in to pay their taxes had a decent walkway. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Purcell.
Very briefly, another thing that I want to stress to all the counselors, when you're notifying your citizens, if you have to do it, and notify them which side of the street to park on, whatever, and you see that a car's not moved, there might be a reason for that car not being, it might be an elderly person or somebody that's in the hospital, to have the neighbors check on that person so that they can have the ability to either move it or even let the DPW or the police know that there's a reason that car's not being moved. Because I would hate to be in the hospital, in the ICU or someplace, and then find out that I got another $600 bill for being towed. That's all. Thank you. Be kind to each other. That's what I tell everybody.
Thank you, Councilor Devine, and then I'm hoping we can move this forward. And
Yes.
Thank you.
I want to address to Mike. I'm assuming that you did accept the position as director of the DPW.
Yes.
And if you have, I just wanted to congratulate you and thank you so much. My dad was a DPW guy, so I know what you go through.
Thank you.
Yes, Councilor Devine, yes, it's been official since last week.
Great.
Thank you, Mike. I did file something for the next meeting as soon as it was made public and signed, sealed, delivered. So it'll be on the communication will be on our next agenda. Thank you, Mike, for all of the things that you do. I'm going to hand it back to Counselor Sullivan as the maker of the order so we can move this forward. Counselor Sullivan?
Yeah, hopefully on a final note, in our thanks to the DPW, let's keep in mind they did all of this understaffed and with equipment that's not quite up to the task, to put it mildly.
Yeah.
So that's
Amen.
something, as we go forward, we need to address. And let's not forget we're in New England.
Yeah.
It's not about just moving this snow. We got to get this done in case another one comes along. If another one comes along before we get this moved, we're in trouble.
Yep.
Knock on wood for me, though, will you?
Madam Chair, I'd like to move the question.
Yep, that was my plan, Counselor Graney. Thank you so much. On the motion was to receive, adopt, and
Do we have to pass the first reading or?
no,
just-
not for Elise. We will do, I believe we do a roll call vote, right, Madam Clerk? Look at me learning. And the clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you are voting to adopt item 66 as a reminder.
Purcell,
Yes.
Israel Rivera,
See.
Jenny Rivera,
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Tallheimer.
Yes.
Bacon,
Yes.
Anderson Burgos,
Yes.
Devine,
Yes.
Graney,
Yes.
McGrath Smith.
Yes.
Masonette,
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti.
Yes.
Hanich.
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
With that, you have passed 66, and then the second motion was to just receive item 68, right? So on that motion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. We'll move on to the regularly scheduled agenda. We've got a lot more to discuss. It's 8:19, so I'm just doing a time check for everyone. I think we're going to go to item 3. Don't worry, I'm still working with the law department. When they're ready to do an executive session, you will all be made aware. But item 3 is from our city clerk and our administrative assistant, Jeffrey Anderson Burgos, the minutes from the January 20th, 2026 meeting.
Motion to receive and
Move to
adopt.
receive.
Move to receive and adopt from Councilor McGrath Smith, and then I heard a second somewhere. Any discussion, edits, corrections? You good?
Madam Chair?
Yep.
My apologies. We're just trying to figure out what number is the item that they
Oh,
did,
oh,
so that
okay.
they're not here all night as well.
It's under the petitions, item 14. So after we vote on item 3, then
Okay.
we can take that out of
Gotcha.
order. Thank you,
Thank you.
guys. So item 3, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. There was a motion, sort of,
To take up item 14.
to suspend the rules, take up item 14.
Yep.
All those in favor of suspending the rules?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 14 is the petition of Dario Terra Ramones, zone change at 131 Westfield Road, Holyoke.
Send to ordinance.
Motion was made to send to ordinance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Thank you. All right.
I don't have.
Then we've got laid on the table 4. I haven't heard anything else on that. So we'll move into communications. Item 5 is from the mayor. It's a letter appointing Kate Caligaris of 14 Shepherd Drive to serve as a commissioner on the Board of Health, replacing Nicole Arnold, serving a 3-year term expiring February 1st, 2029.
Be received and sent to
public
public service?
Motion to receive and send to public service.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. 6 is from the mayor. It's a letter reappointing Dr. John, everyone's
Purchase.
vet. He's my cat's vet, so I call him Dr. John. Dr. Jean Pertizet of 210 Linden Street to serve as a member of the Conservation Commission. He will serve a 3-year term expiring February 1st, 2029.
Motion to approve?
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded to approve. Any discussion? All right, on the motion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. 7 is from the city treasurer, Rory Casey, municipal buildings assessment materials.
Madam President,
Counselor Bacon?
can we suspend rules and take up the late files? I think it's 67 with that.
Hold on
What's that? I don't have that.
And I'm just asking for that because it pertains to our finances.
Sure, yeah. So the motion was made to suspend the rules and take up item 7 with 67. 67, was that it?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Did I hear a second?
Second.
All right, under discussion, did you say send to finance? Is that what you said? I didn't, or receive?
Oh,
Oh, on the motion to suspend the rules. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And then Counselor Bacon?
thank you. So as we're looking at these,
Oh, I'm sorry, actually, let me just read it into the record.
Okay.
I read the first one, which was 7, but I did not read that 67 is communication from the Division of Local Services, update on vendor procurement process to assist with cash reconciliations. Counselor Bacon.
so this particular item that came to us late, I think does need to be sent over to finance, but I think there's key issues in it that we need to have in the public record tonight. And one point of concern that I have is that this letter is dated January 20th.
Yep.
And when we've been talking about financial transfers relative to consulting services, et cetera, we were promised regular updates and status reports as to what was going on, given the catastrophic condition of the finances. And so I find it concerning that I had to reach out to obtain this letter to make it as a late file. I would hope going forward that we get these things more timely. And I think it's really important to the public who's getting these big tax bills to know what's going on with our finances. And, you know, in this letter, it's talking about big cash problems. And the fact that in 2023, the free cash was reduced by almost $931,000 due to unreconciled cash variances in the city. And then when you read further down the letter, and I don't want to take the time to read the entire thing into the record, it says in October that we nearly defaulted on more than $30 million in short-term borrowing. Now, later in the meeting, we're going to be voting on borrowing. And they're saying that our bond rating has not been restored. And so things are coming to us like it's sort of business as usual, and we're just doing a regular bond approval. But in the face of this letter, it's basically saying that since the letters we received in the fall, none of the reconciliations have yet been accomplished. So I, just as a person representing people who I'm hearing a lot of feedback from on their taxes and the spending in the city, in the face of this, just for me personally, to vote on spending bills, I need to see some concrete progress. And I'm happy that they chose this firm. That's the other thing I do believe the president mentioned in her report, that they did go with the firm, hang on, I want to find the name of it. I think it's Clifton Larson. Anyway, so they're a well-regarded firm, and I would note that the cost for this is going to be capped out at $200,000 in terms of this contract that will run through June. And I would remind the council that at one point, for another consultant doing similar work, we were asked to pay $600,000 for similar work. So I think in the end, we will end up okay, but I think it is very regrettable that we did not hire the treasurer as the voters voted, and we could have potentially saved a year of further problems if we had a qualified treasurer in that office. Thank you.
Thank you. And so
The motion is to refer to finance.
Okay, I'm gonna add in though that, so I take full responsibility for not forwarding this one letter to you guys. I have forwarded every other communication from the DLS. I apologize. The volume of emails that I get every day is insane. I welcome you to match it. And I do apologize. That was an oversight on my end. I'm grateful that Councilor Bacon took the initiative and made sure it went out to the body. You have my word. You will get more than what you want for communications going forward.
The
And
mayor
I
had it
will.
too. I wasn't pointing a finger at you.
No, I mean, it's me. It got sent to me and it didn't get on the agenda. And it's been 2 weeks, so I do apologize. And you will get a lot of information. I will be committing to attending a weekly meeting. I go to weekly meetings a lot on behalf of all of you, and I don't talk about it. So this is just another weekly meeting that I will add to my schedule. And I take my job super seriously, so I appreciate that you all brought this to my attention. I have some comments about the letter itself, but I see other counselors have their hand up, and I know what my role is as president, so I'm going to turn it over to Counselor McGrath-Smith, who has her hand up, and then I see Counselor Devine.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to name, I know that we took up 7 and 67 together, and I think I understand the intention behind it. It's not a bad one, but I think there's a bit of an oddness to 7 just in general, because finance has already seen 7. It was in our packet when we had our meeting. It was brought by the treasurer in the presentation that we had at our subcommittee meeting.
Jeffrey was asked to put it on as a communication, so I'm not sure if it perhaps was not actually filed officially as a communication. If you reviewed it in finance.
We did review it. I just want to name for the body that we did review this in finance. We've seen it. It's already been discussed in relation to item 25. So when we get to 25, we absolutely will come back to 7. So I just don't know if it makes sense to send it again back to finance. Although I totally think we should send 67 to finance. Absolutely. So we can have that discussion there.
For sure.
Thank you.
Counselor Devine?
Yeah, and it sounds to me like there's going to be a lot of information given to us, so the best I can do at this point, if I can get all this information, is we're having a finance meeting on the 25th of February. So I certainly will bring up anything that is given to me, and if there's a lot of information, and Jeffrey's great about letting me know this stuff, maybe that's the only thing we'll put on the agenda.
Okay.
It all depends on what else is going on.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Do you want me to withdraw the motion on 7 going?
Do you want to do them separate? Should we do them separately? Okay.
Just make a motion to receive item 7.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to receive item 7. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And then make a motion to send item 67 to finance.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to send item 67 to finance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Madam President, may I?
Counselor Anderson Burgos?
Sorry. Would like to take up would like to suspend the rules, take up item number 50 and 51, not as a package. I believe the maker of the order would like to see it go to public safety, and then I am uncertain about item number 51. It looks like a communication or discussion that could be on the floor, but I'd rather hear from the maker of the order what she would like to be.
I was going to second your order, but yeah.
Yeah, well, 50 I'm making the motion for 50 to go to public safety, but 51 is completely up to you.
I'm totally cool with things going out of order, but I also don't fully understand why it's going out of order. Is it just for folks that are in the audience?
Yes, correct.
Okay,
Sorry.
I just want to make sure.
Forgot to mention that.
No, that's okay. It's totally fine. I just get easily confused with all of there's a lot
Back
on
and
the
forth.
agenda.
Yeah, I get it.
Yep. So the motion was made and seconded to suspend the rules and take items
50
and 51 as a package and send to public safety. Was that the motion? I apologize.
No, so 50 would go.
Okay, so we'll just take 50 out of order. We'll vote on that first.
Yep.
And you said send to public safety.
Can confirm.
Okay, so motion was made and seconded. Under discussion, first to suspend the rules. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and then let me just briefly read 50 into the record. It's filed by Counselor Tallheimer, Panich, Purcell, Anderson Burgos, Jenny Rivera, and myself. Ordered that the Honorable City Council respectfully invites the Chief of the Holyoke Police Department or their designee to appear before the Committee on Public Safety to provide an update to the October 6, 2025 general overview of the department's policies, procedures, and training regarding potential interactions with federal immigration authorities in order to support transparency, public understanding, and continued mutual trust between the community and the police department, while maintaining public safety, to ensure that the City Council has the information it needs to effectively support the police department and its mission to protect the community, and review the impact of existing and proposed state law and practice regarding immigration law and enforcement. And this was to refer to public safety with a copy to the Chief of Police.
Correct.
I would love to not have discussion take place this evening and in a subcommittee. So we're just going to send it to Public Safety. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. And then you said you wanted to do 51 out of order?
Correct. So 51,
Let's do a motion, that was a motion to suspend the rules,
suspend the rules. Yep.
take up item 51.
Yep. Take up item 51.
Second.
That was seconded, the motion was made and seconded. Let me just briefly read 51 into the record. Yes. It's filed by Counselor Tallheimer, Panich, Anderson, Burgos. Ordered that the city solicitor advise the council as to under what circumstances, if any, a person wishing to participate in public comment or speak at a public hearing is obliged to give their name and address for the record, what the legal basis for any such requirement would be. The question arises because, contrary to the council's general understanding, there appears to be no such requirement set forth in the council's current rules, and there has been contention over the issue that should be resolved. On the motion to suspend the rules and take up item 51, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Counselor Anderson Burgos, would you like to send this somewhere or receive? Or?
So that would be completely up to the maker. As I'm reading it, it sounds like it's a discussion, a direct discussion. So, but if the maker would like to speak on this,
Counselor Tallheimer?
We could do direct discussion now. We could also send a charter and rules.
I would prefer that.
I'll second that.
Yeah, I think charter and rules. And
Okay.
what it says on the tin, I think it's very straightforward what the question is.
Yes, all right, so we will send this to Charter and Rules. That was, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, I look forward to those discussions, so moved.
Madam President, sorry.
Counselor Devine.
Item 49 should go with this because it's basically the same thing from Counselor Sullivan.
Okay.
So that would be my.
So a motion to suspend the rules and take up item 49. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 49 is from Counselor Sullivan, ordered that the City Council amend its rules to establish clearer and more stringent guidelines governing public comment, including but not limited to requiring that individuals participating remotely keep their cameras on while speaking during public comment. So the motion was to send to Charter and Rules for discussion.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, back to the agenda. We did 7, right? Item 8 is from the Holyoke Mall. It's the 2025 Community Impact Report for Holyoke.
Be received, motion be received.
Second.
Motion was to receive and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. 9 is from HEDIC. It's the meeting minutes
Motion to take up
from.
9, 10, and 11, 12, and 13 as a package.
Second.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to suspend the rules and take up items 9 through 13 as a package. On the motion to suspend the rules, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 9's the HEDIC meeting minutes from November 20th, 2025. 10 is conservation meeting minutes from December 2025. 11 is the minutes from the Board of Fire Commission December meeting. And 12 is the fiscal year 2026 general fund expense year-to-date. 13 is the fiscal year 2026 sewer enterprise expense year-to-date.
Motion to receive 9, 10, and 11.
Motion to receive 9, 10, and 11.
Second.
Is there a second? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And motion to send 12 and 13 to finance.
Second.
Motion to send 12 and 13 to finance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. We did 14. Alrighty, on to our reports of committees. 15 is the Committee on Ordinance, to whom is referred an order that the necessary changes in ordinance be made in order to establish a finance department and the roles and responsibilities of its members. It was recommended that the order be adopted. Councilor McGrath-Smith.
Thank you, Madam President. In our last two ordinance meetings, we spent time asking the treasurer and TJ Plant and the auditor and the mayor to come in, and also Kelly Curran, our HR director, to walk us through their thoughts on how best to structure the finance department in alignment with the DLS guidance. And the DLS guidance has been very clear and has been clear for a very long time. And so much of what was brought to the ordinance committee in terms of the job descriptions, some of it was very similar to what we'd looked at in our last term, and some of it really was a revision. And so we spent one meeting really going through the org chart and really understanding the job descriptions and the qualifications, and having really in-depth conversations about those, so that we have clear lines of accountability and the right people doing the right, very clear job descriptions. And then in our second meeting, we spent time then sort of redlining through the actual ordinance draft and making sure that the changes we were making in ordinance reflected our values and reflected the org chart and the job descriptions conversation that we had the meeting before. So many of you in this room are going to be very familiar with the package that you have in front of you, although there are some key changes that I want to name. So effectively what we have here is a Department of Finance. At the top of that finance structure, of course, because of it's any department of the city, is the mayor. Underneath that is the CAFO. And then the CAFO, the Chief Administrative and Financial Officer, which in some communities is a finance director, right? Many different names for that. Will then be in charge of a finance department with very clear lines of accountability, where you have a director of assessment, and underneath that, the assessor and an assistant assessor, a chief procurement officer and an account payable specialist underneath that, a treasurer collector combined, and then under that, an assistant treasurer collector, and then 2 revenue collection specialists and an administrative assistant, a director of technical service, and then a comptroller, and underneath the comptroller, a senior payroll specialist, three financial analysts. We spent a lot of time talking about director of technical service and the financial analyst piece. I'll come back to that in just a second. And of course, the last major member of this finance structure is the director of internal audit, and a professional accountant that works underneath the director of internal audit. We spent a lot of time talking about the director of technical service and the difference between that and an IT director. So where we would want someone to have IT experience, yes, but this is someone that's really going to be coordinating services and management over all of these disparate contracts that are currently happening. There's a lot of technology being used, as we were hearing from our folks who presented to us, that we have specific technology that's being used in the building department, that's just related to being able to understand the property lines, surveying. We also have a lot of employees who are using Munis, and we're doing a lot of work around Munis expansion and sort of deepening of those tools to make sure that they're actually being used effectively and accurately. But also right now we have Munis being duplicated, and we're paying for it twice on the school department side and also on the city side, and that needs to be merged. So the school department was clearly named in the ordinance language. as well as all of the other financial operations in the city. So even though the CAFO, what I just described to you, right, is in charge of this finance department, it's very clear in the ordinance language in front of you that the CAFO is able to ask for any financial information alongside the auditor from anyone who is doing financial activities in the city, and that includes in the schools, and be able to really make sure that the processes that are supposed to be happening are happening, and that there's accountability, and that there's clear lines of who is doing what and who's reporting to whom. Now, the other piece that I want to name around who's reporting to whom, the biggest change that has occurred between the last version of this municipal modernization package between last term and this term is that the lines of appointing authority are shifted. So under this draft, what you have is under the CAFO, which is a mayoral appointment with council approval, we now have under that role the chief procurement officer, the comptroller, the director of assessment, the combined treasurer collector, and the director of technical service. So we have those positions falling underneath the CAFO. Then you have the mayor, right, having the appointment power over the CAFO with council approval, and then city council having appointing authority over the director of internal audit and the board of assessors. So that's the biggest change in terms of, the first draft and the second is the addition of the director of technical service, really further clarifying the job descriptions. Last time around, we started with, an org chart, but then we went right into like this massive ordinance language package. And this time around, I pushed for, let's start with the reorg chart first and all the job descriptions and make sure we know exactly what everyone's doing and who answers to who, to make sure that we don't have duplication of effort or that we don't have things that no one's actually specifically named as being responsible for. And so now we did that process, and we've shifted by adding the director of technical service and shifting the structure for appointing authority. So that is what you have in front of you today. It came to you, from the ordinance committee on a 4-1 vote. It has, strong, I think, stakeholder support from a lot of different people, and very much is the product of our guidance that we have gotten for a very long time from the DLS, and was supported from the financial consultant that we worked with, Open Architects, and all of the work that they've been doing with our city. So I submit it to you, and the motion will be to accept the committee report and to accept these changes and adopt them into ordinance.
Good report.
So I thank you. I'm going to need a motion to pass
The first reading.
the first reading.
Motion to pass the first reading.
Second.
Motion was made and seconded to pass the first reading, and we've got folks lined up for discussion. I have Councilor Greeny and then Councilor Bacon.
Yeah, quickly, what's the total cost of all of these positions?
Through the chair to Councilor.
Councilor McGrath Smith.
Yep.
Yes, I should have brought that.
Bottom
to
line.
Annie, and my apology. So what we have is a proposal that is budget neutral. It's not going to save us money, but it is budget neutral in the way that we're, in some ways, for example, the director of technical service, we're paying so much right now for consultants to really manage our technology for us, that by being able to hire someone to do that and drop the consultant line, in that way, it becomes budget neutral.
Excuse me, budget neutral doesn't have fringe benefits. What's the bottom line? of the
Even with
positions?
benefits, it's budget neutral.
What's the bottom line? How much is it?
In total, every single
total.
position added up with benefits.
Yeah.
I'm happy to talk to Kelly Curran and get you the exact number.
Well, this is something that want to be passed tonight. I want to know what it's going to cost.
We did talk about this at length in committee, and there were spreadsheets shared with us with the actual numbers comparing side by side.
I understand, but I just want the total cost, that's all. That's the bottom line.
Sure, maybe during discussion, someone can pull that up, but it's been discussed. So I'll allow folks the opportunity to do that. We can go back and watch the videos of the multiple
won't take
discussions
you long.
where
Yep.
that was brought up, but I have
I
a
have it.
feeling
It's-
Councilor
I had to
McGrath
find it.
Smith's got it.
Yay!
Okay, So underneath our current budget now, it's $2,555,000. Underneath this, if we make all of the changes that we are proposing tonight, we're talking the exact same, $2,549,000. So it's within $1,000.
Thank you. Okay, I have Counselor Bacon next.
Thank you, Madam President. So I have a number of concerns. My first one is that I want to raise a point of order. This legal form is before us in total conflict with our own city council rules. Under our rules, the ordinance committee shall first submit in writing with assistance from the administrative assistant any proposed adoption, amendment, or repeal of an ordinance to the city solicitor for review and approval. That did not happen. Then, after the first meeting on January 13th, where it was presented to us that the city council appointing authority would remain the same as it is currently stated in our charter, which includes the Director of Internal Audit, Treasurer. It doesn't say Treasurer Collector in our charter, but it says Treasurer, and it separately in our charter says Collector and Chief Assessor. On January 13th, it was represented to the committee that that would be the appointing authority of the city council. The committee on that date made no request to our law department, our city solicitor, to give us a legal form. Magically, on January 27th, we get a full legal form, similar to the same thing that happened last year, which we still have an open meeting law issue on. Full legal form. Not only was it a full legal form, all the appointing authority was removed from the city council in the legal form. So I have a question through the chair to our solicitor online as to who requested the legal form of our city solicitor and who asked for those changes to be made to the legal form, because it was never requested out of committee. I raised this point of order in committee and I was ignored.
Okay, so I'm going to allow the Attorney Bissonnette to respond, and I also see Counselor McGrath-Smith's hand up. So, Attorney Bissonnette, did you hear the point of order?
Yes, I did. The point is not in order, as it's based on the rule. The rule was referred to the solicitor's office as part of the chair discussing with the solicitor the points that were raised in the meeting. I would note, for context, that I began in June 2021, and my first assignment was this matter of both eliminating the treasurer as an elected official and then combining it with the comptroller. That has since, based on Mayor Garcia's priorities, evolved into the Department of Finance. As you'll note from the letter from Deb Wagner from DOR, Department of Revenue has been chasing the city of Holyoke to do this for 3 decades now. So as to whether or not this has been around enough for everyone to see, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Councilor Bacon herself notes that this ground has been gone over last term, been gone over this term in 2 new meetings of the Ordinance Committee. So the question of whether or not it's properly before the council is easily satisfied by the 4-to-1 vote recommending it for your approval. That would be my take on her objection, Madam Chair, and I thank you for the time to respond.
Thank you. And then I have Counselor McGrath-Smith, and then I'll go back to Counselor Bacon.
Thank you. Yes, and through Madam President to Councilor Bacon, I did want to say that as the chair, I was able to talk to the city solicitor and was able to ask formally for a legal form, and I did want to make sure that we were able to look. It's part of the privilege of chair. I wanted to make sure that we had a solid draft to begin with. So it wasn't just, I mean, we're talking a massive package, most of which was going to be exactly the same of what we looked at before with some changes. And so based on the org chart, we knew, for example, that the director of technical service was now going to be added in. It made sense to add for that to be added in. We had talked, for example, about the potential wanting to relook at the residency requirement in a previous ordinance meeting. It made sense to also bring that into the legal language. So it was just part of being able to have the conversation in writing, so we knew exactly what it is that we were discussing and either editing or agreeing to.
Councilor Bacon.
I have a follow-up on my point of order through the chair to the solicitor. The second part of the rule, which we just clarified last year, when the current chair of ordinance was chair of charter and rules, I might add, says if the ordinance committee does not approve the draft, which shouldn't have been in front of us anyway, because with all due respect, the chair of a committee does not have the power to act on behalf of the committee without a vote of the committee. That's in our rules. The committee has to vote. So we don't give that kind of power to the chair. It says if there are amendments, if the ordinance committee does not approve the draft, they shall submit any requested changes in writing to the city solicitor to facilitate revision. The revised draft must be completed and presented within 2 regularly scheduled subcommittee meetings. Revised drafts must be provided to the ordinance committee at least 48 hours prior to a scheduled subcommittee meeting where the ordinance is on the agenda. And I asked for those revisions to come back. This legal draft was a wholesale revision of the appointing authority that had been represented to the committee 2 weeks previous. And now we're sitting here looking at an ordinance that is in direct conflict with our charter, which we just asked the State House to approve. And we're sitting here now without a appointed qualified treasurer because it was held up in committee, delayed. The mayor directed the HR director not to post it. And so here we are now, we don't have a treasurer and we don't have a treasurer collector. So the goal is to just simply ignore the charter, ignore the voters, skip over the appointment of the treasurer and move into this new chart and this new model that essentially strips the council of basically almost all of its appointing authority. And that had never been before the council. We have 2 brand new members of the city council on this committee. So they've been to 2 meetings on this matter since the new term. And I would note that whether we've discussed something for a long time or not, the order that we're talking about tonight was filed on January 6th, 2026. All the orders that were filed in 2025 are done because that ordinance did not pass.
So what was your point of order for the?
My point of order is that this ordinance should go back to committee and come before the council properly. And I see the eyes rolling, I see the shrugging, everybody calls for respect. Well, two-way street.
I've seen everyone's eyes roll at me already
Just saying.
tonight, so welcome to the club. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I guess we'll just keep the club.
I'm up here just, yeah, I mean.
But that is my point of order, and I'm standing on the rules that we all looked at, revised, rewrote, and voted on very recently. So that's
Was the
my
point of order to me or to the attorney? Because you said the attorney, and I don't know, I think I'm here, but if you want the attorney.
No,
Attorney Bissonnette.
my point of order was to you. My question to the attorney was, how did the legal form come before us when the committee did not request it? And we've had that answered, that the chair asked for it.
Okay.
So that was my question to legal.
Okay.
My point of order is that we didn't follow our rules, and ordinance should at the very least look at this amended draft, which I don't think is even correct from what the committee changed at the last meeting.
So I watched the last meeting. I don't think that the point is not in order. This has been discussed, and I reiterate what Attorney Bissonette said. And I don't see his hand up. I do see others' hands up. I knew we were going to have a long discussion on this. I'm ready to go all night. I don't care. I have Councilor Rivera and then Councilor Panich.
Yes, thank you. So there's two things for me here. One, the main thing here that I wanted to address is, like, I'm in full support of the reorganization and us getting to a point where we can get our financial matters in order, no matter how it looks. And right now, what the council has come together as an agreement, whether everyone agrees or not, but that is democracy, that's the way it moves, is what we have in front of us. It was a 4-1 vote for the most part. The one person that didn't vote for it is the one person creating the nuances right now. And are we literally arguing semantics right now? Because that's what it feels like, just to be able to, what? Are we not trying to fix our finances? Are we not trying to change things? Or is it because we don't, well, I mean, a lot of us agree. There are some of us that don't with the approach. I think it's not fair to say that, or hold new counselors to something that was voted on by counselors in the past. So if we're saying that the rules that have to do with counselor appointment, right? Appointment powers from the council or whatnot, that was a negotiation situation that we ended up negotiating with other members that are no longer present at the moment, right? Now we have new members, and these new members possibly feel like that it's okay. It's a different council. It's a different concept. It's a different thought process. To still fight for what the last council was fighting for is not fair to the new council. It's literally stripping the voice from the new people that are here. What's the point then, right? I don't want to keep this going, so I'm going to stop and end it here. But my only questions around the whole modernization thing is when we roll it out, or my concerns is how we roll it out, right? Are we doing all the positions all at once, or are we starting with like a CAFO and then building out little by little and making sure things are going in order so that we can take this together and it's not hitting everybody all at once, right? Which is a question that should be asked, right? Like, how is it going to impact the taxpayers instead of fighting over semantics? Like, what are we doing here? Thank you.
Thank you. Was that we did talk about some of that and a lot of that in committee on how this is going to be rolled out. So thank you. I just want to make sure that wasn't a point of order for me. Councilor Panich, you're up next.
Yes, thank you. And I'm going to invite Attorney Bissonette to jump in at any point where he thinks that I am making an error. But it seems to me that what we have here is what in the legal system you would probably call harmless error at worst. Because if we could go back in time and somebody had thought in the middle of the first of these meetings to say, I move that we authorize the chair of this committee to ask for legal form, I am sure that it would have passed 4-0 or 4-1. And that would put us exactly where we are now. It's what happened. And I think the same is probably true of any points of order related to that second meeting. If there was an error, it did not affect the outcome. And placing technical rule compliance over substance is usually something we don't like to do. In this case, we have a situation of urgency before us. DLS has been begging us to make these changes for years now. We've had DLS advice for going back to 2007, saying that things are broken systemically and we need to fix them systemically. This is an opportunity to do it. The letter that we just got from DLS is yet another one of these warnings. And I think that it is time to take the opportunity to make the jump that we all know we're going to make, do it tonight, and move on to the next piece of this. There is no reason to wait. The only reason to send this back to committee would be to have the same stuff voted out, only with a delay to it. And I know I'm new. I know I did not sit through every meeting last year, although I did watch a lot of them. I know that the narratives around what happened last year are so divergent that we would probably need a Truth and Reconciliation Commission to really work out what everybody felt happened and why. But here we are. And changing the personnel, moving to different treasurers over the years, has not materially changed anything. So, if it is the will of the body to go back, we can do it. But I would also suggest to you that we are legislators. If we enact this and we find that there is some line that doesn't work the way we think it should, there is nothing at all that will prevent us from going back and fixing it. This is the way Congress used to work. It is the way our state legislature should work. It is the way legislative bodies act. No complex legislation is ever passed that doesn't have some error in it somewhere. And with that, over to the rest of you, but I hope we can get this done. Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Bacon would like to speak for a third time.
Thank you. Or do I need permission?
I don't know. I'm keeping track of this because I need to.
Grant permission.
Entertain a motion.
Thank you.
For Councilor Bacon to speak for a third time.
All right.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to allow Counselor Bacon to speak for a third time. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
No.
Counselor Bacon, go ahead.
Thank you. So these points that I'm making are not semantics and they're not technical. Never in ordinance committee did we discuss taking away the charter authority of the city council to appoint the auditor, the treasurer, the collector, or the assessor. That discussion never happened. On January 13th, here's the chart we had. January 27th, no chart, 24 pages of legal language stripping the council of its appointing authority in direct conflict with our charter. Our charter is our guiding document. Ordinances come under the charter. They don't trump the charter. So this is a fundamental power of the council. This is not just a little technical, tedious notion. I mean, if brand new councilors want to sit here and give away all the appointing authority of the city council, you've got the votes, but at least follow the process and the rules. Don't just go in the back, tell the city solicitor, write it up like this, because we're the new, gang in town and we're running the show. We have a city charter. The city charter says the city council will appoint those positions I just named. How are you going to, if you force this through tonight with no companion charter language, and by the way, as another point of order, the agenda item we're talking about in council tonight cannot simultaneously be on the charter and rules agenda tomorrow. We sit here tonight and vote this through and put ourselves in conflict with the charter. Shame on us. And shame on us not representing the voters in the way that they have called on us to do, to at least have the debate and the discussion. If you say vacant, cold water, the council should have no appointing authority except that one position, at least do the debate and have the request go to the solicitor from the committee. There is no path for a chair to tell the city solicitor what to put in legal form. And you can say go back in time, but we have the rules of how we conduct our business, and we used to follow them. Thank you. My motion is to return this to committee for review of the amendments.
Second.
Okay. No, hold on. That's That's fine. I have Counselor Panich does want to, she has her hand up and to speak, and I'm gonna let her. I'm just processing, the insinuation that I don't follow the rules. It's just, it's fun to, it's fine. So the motion was made and seconded to, send this back to committee under discussion.
Well, I still.
Counselor Panich.
Thank you. I stand by, let's get this done. I think Councilor Bacon has made some substantive points that it's worth addressing. And one of them is, yes, our charter should control, but as we have discussed, and I thought we both agreed, it does not make sense to draft charter changes until you know what you are drafting them to conform to. And,
Guys.
you know, I'm sorry?
Patty, sorry, it's distracting.
Sorry. So yes, and I don't expect to take up the charter changes that would be necessary to conform to this tomorrow night, because notice is important, but I would certainly file an order to do so, and we've always assumed that the charter change legislation would have to follow what the council decided to do about the initial legislation. As to the ordinances and the changes between what was presented in one meeting and the next, I will admit that perhaps I was naive, but I assumed that we would have paid attention to the first discussion, and when the legal language came through, we would read it, we would compare it to what had been discussed, and we would raise the points that troubled us at the next meeting. Not that we needed to have our hands held to point out what might have changed. So I'm not sure what the problem is. You know, there were changes, and we addressed those changes. We talked about them, and it's not as though we can't make amendments to this. And as to the rules, you know, the rules are the rules, but just as we can't override the charter with an ordinance, we also can't, the rules are not there to do anything except try to facilitate our discussions. They're not these jail cells that if we don't conform to, nobody lets us out of. And you know, once again, we could send it back, but the result is going to be the same, and we all know it. And the only benefit is that we will have some delay. And with that, I'll turn it back over to the motion.
Thank you. The motion was to send this item back to committee. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
No.
All right, so that's not getting sent back to committee. And then I feel like I saw someone's hand. Counselor Devine.
Just a quick thing, Madam President, to the chair. We still have the authority to appoint the auditor.
Mm-hmm.
We still have the appointing authority to the assessor
Yes.
and the other assessors. We've always had that, and that hasn't gone away.
No.
Thank you.
Okay, Counselor Greenie.
We have given up some power. Thank you.
Okay. Counselor Rivera.
Yes. So in just following along with Councilor Devine's points around the assessor, and like our role in a sense is a checks and balance role, is the same as the auditor and the assessors and them, and it makes sense that we continue to have that power, right? And again, not all the rules in the charter are being followed across the city, so to just only pick out this particular situation about not following the rules in the charter is semantics. Because if that was the case, we'd have all the charter rules followed throughout the whole city, and they're not currently being followed. So again, to Councilor Panich's point, in my whole 4 years of doing this, the only time that these little nuances of rules come up is when certain people don't agree. Other than that, if they agreed to it, this would not even be an issue. So again, it's not being naive or any of that. It's just that there is a faction of people that don't agree with it, and they're going to be loud, proud about it, and as they should be, because this is democracy. It's all respect. We can do what you need to do with regards to that. But this is exactly what I've been experiencing over the last 4 years, where on some occasions the rules are not followed because some people agree. On other occasions, they have to be followed because they don't fully agree with what's happening or the outcome that's going to come out. So that's why, to me, it's like it's never consistent with regards to how we approach things and how we move forward. If we're saying charter rules, I mean, the charter is gospel in a sense, right? And we should be following it as gospel, but we fully don't throughout the whole city, but we want to pick out certain circumstances where we choose to follow it. That's why I reference semantics and just clarifying that to the public. And again, thank you. You guys can go ahead. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I have Counselor Bacon again, and then Counselor McGrath-Smith again.
And me?
Counselor Greenie.
So it was just stated that the city council retains appointing authority of the assessor. And in the language, it says the CAFO appoints with confirmation of the city council and approval of the mayor, a director of assessing in the legal form.
Is this a conversation or a question, or are you just?
I'm making a statement. It's
Okay.
what's in
I
the
just wanted
legal
to make
form.
sure.
It was, the statement was just made that the city council will retain appointing authority of the assessor.
Sorry, the Board of Assessors.
It's in the legal form that the CAFO will be the appointing authority and the council will confirm. Is the language I'm reading, unless you see some language I don't see.
Through the chair to
Clarify. So-
Counselor McGrath-Smith.
Because we have the Board of Assessors, but then we also have the Director of Assessing. The Director of Assessing is effectively the staff through the municipal side, the government side, and that would be appointed by the CAFO, but the Board of Assessors would still be appointed by the council. Does that clarify it?
The Board of Assessors is made up of the chief assessor and 2 other assessors. They're all the same people. They are the same people.
Okay.
Just saying. It is
Noted.
facts.
Okay. I have actually I had Counselor McGrath-Smith next in line, and then I have Counselor Greenie, and then Counselor Purcell, and then Counselor Anderson Burgos.
I just wanted to name that I went back into the video of the meeting, which is available online, and at 1 hour and 42 minutes, we discussed that the next step would be that legal language would be drafted and that we would look at it at our next meeting, and the committee discussed that concept. And I can just defer to the vice chair of the ordinance committee that next time we can tighten up the motions and make sure that that language is included in the motion, but it was discussed by the committee and named very specifically. I also want to name that the next step clearly is this is an ordinance change. We pass these changes, and then the Charter and Rules Committee, here's the baton. The next step is for the Charter and Rules Committee to meet and to discuss what charter changes need to occur in order to make this a reality. And then it goes through the home rule petition process. So yes, this is not like we're going to vote on this tonight. I want to be clear on that. And then tomorrow, this is the law of the land. This is a process, right? These are the ordinances that we're putting in place. Once we've agreed as a body that this is what we want our ordinances to be, then the charter and rules, has to do their work. And then we go from there. It becomes a home rule petition, goes to the state legislature. It will take time for this to occur. But we have to start somewhere. This is about incremental progress. And it's also important to the DLS that we are showing that we are making incremental progress and that we're not letting perfection be the enemy of the good. We have to start where we are and keep moving forward through all of the steps. That's important for us to do. It's part of the process.
Thank you. I have Counselor Greenie.
Yeah, I just want to mention that disagreement is a good thing. It offers different perspectives on the issues. And that's a good thing as long as it's done respectfully. Thank you.
I completely agree. Respectfully is the key word. Counselor Purcell.
Madam Chair, Madam President, to the chair, I'm not a lawyer and I don't play one on TV, and I respectfully accept the opinion of our city solicitor because he is our lawyer indeed. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Anderson Burgos.
I'll be so quick. So this document, we've been speaking about this for years, and for the new city councilors that have not been here, you have no idea. My ears are bleeding. Okay, so what I say is enough of the conversation and let's vote on it. Let's just move it, approve it, that's it, no more. That's it. Let's just vote on it. Thank you. That's it.
All right, I'm gonna do my job now. The motion was on the
First
to
reading.
pass the first reading. What's that, Counselor Greeny?
I said so much for respectfully.
How did I?
Not you.
All right. That was out of order. I can see all of you. I'm literally, I've seen half of you roll your eyes at me tonight. So, like, if we're gonna, you should, including you, Counselor, you rolls your eyes at me too. So we're moving on. We're voting on this. I'm done. The motion was to pass the first reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Motion to pass the second reading?
Motion to pass the second reading has been seconded. Under discussion, Counselor Sullivan, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I'd like to propose one amendment to it. And I was at the last meeting, and I brought this up. I've had a chance to do some research on it. So I'd call everybody's attention to section 2-294, section 1C, all right? And this is the basis of the education and training, the qualifications for the Director of Technical Assistance. I've talked to our neighbors in West Springfield where they have a Director of Technical Assistance. What my problem was at the committee meeting was the low standard for the qualifications, and in particular that it could defer down to just the mere possession of a high school diploma. In checking with them, their IT director has a master's degree. That is not required, but required of their IT director is a bachelor's degree. So we have language in here where it could go to an associate's, but to lower it to a mere high school degree with 10 years of relative experience for me is a showstopper, all right? This explained to us by our personnel director was there to cast a wider net, all right? To cast a wider net, we're going to lower the standard that far. So I would now call your attention to section 6, 2-67. All right. Give me a minute to find it also so I can read it to you. All right. No person shall serve as a department head in the city unless such person is and remains a resident of the city for the duration of their employment. This subsection shall be inapplicable to human resource director, the city solicitor, treasurer, technical assistants, and director of technical assistance. So when you're casting a wider net, that wider net now incorporates all our surrounding communities. All right? So in casting that wider net, do we really have to lower our standard that low that we can't find someone with the proper education and training, right, that is already proven in our neighboring towns? And think about it, this is IT director of technical services for the city. All right? So that's the one section I would like to see struck and leave the qualifications at a high level, especially for this newly created position.
I'll second that.
So the motion was made and seconded to amend
it to strike or possession of a high school diploma or associate's degree and 7 to 10 years of relative experience in IT management and role to perform the duties of office.
And that was in section,
C.
That's section, that's
16C.
section 2-294,
C.
Appointments and terms, section C.
all right. So the motion was to amend section 2-294, section C, which would remove the language related to a high school diploma with 10 years experience in, in a relevant field,
Right.
in IT management. I just want to make sure I got the motion
Doesn't
right.
say IT management.
Right, it would strike everything from the or on down.
Okay. So that motion was made and seconded. Under discussion, I already have Counselor Rivera's hand up. I have Counselor Tallheimer. I have Counselor McGrath-Smith. I think I just saw your hand. Okay. Counselor Rivera.
Thank you. I briefly remember this discussion at the meeting, and I think it was pointed out specifically around the requirement for someone to have that specific education comes with significantly more pay than what we're looking at in the pay range that we're aiming for. So I would ask Counselor Sullivan what would be the pay range that the neighboring town utilized, and if the person was able to make a sacrifice in taking a lower pay than what they normally would take somewhere else. Because the argument to me is that this is a trade, just like any other trade, right? If you have a machine operator, do they have to have a college degree to become a machine operator? No, you do not. To do different things, and Counselor Sullivan fully knows this, in different fields in construction, you don't necessarily need a bachelor's degree to do all of it. You just need experience and time on task to be able to fully complete these skills. So in my experience, a lot of the people that I've seen in the field that don't have master's degrees, they have years of experience in doing this stuff. And ultimately, they're actually quite astute as to how they get the job done, because they're not trapped within the confines of what they were taught in education. It's not to say that we wouldn't want someone with more education to come on board and join us. That's the wholehearted piece. But I think for me is to kind of pencil it in a situation where we're going to have to pay someone probably like $150,000 to $160,000 a year for IT, and it's not specifically only IT. I think that's the crux of it, right? It's not just IT. There's a lot of different things that they're requesting this person. That's why they didn't call it an IT director. They're called Director of Technical Assistance. There is a difference. But I'll through the chair to Counselor Sullivan to answer the question around salary from the neighboring community or whatnot.
I will allow it, Counselor Sullivan. I'm also just warning everyone, we're getting very close to rehashing a whole committee meeting
Yes, sir, I'm
that
sorry.
already happened. It's fine, but I want to give Counselor Sullivan the opportunity to respond. Counselor Sullivan?
Yep, number one is we're not requiring a master's degree, we're asking for a bachelor's. The city of West Springfield does have one with a master's degree, all right? The salary that they are at is $130,000, and that's a person with a master's degree, not 150 or 180. Our range, which is here on page 23, section 7, our range is to advertise it between $92,000 and $131,000. So I would imagine that somebody without a master's degree but with qualified will fit perfectly within that range. And we should be able to find someone just as they did.
Okay. I have Counselor Tallheimer and then Counselor McGrath-Smith, and then I'm hoping we can vote on the counselor's amendment.
Thank you, Madam President. In very brief, both of these points were raised in ordinance and discussed and resolved. I feel like we have had this conversation already within the body to make a recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor McGrath-Smith?
Thank you, Madam President. I want to name that I'm fine with the change if we want to make it, but I do think that the body should be prepared to, if this cannot be filled, to be willing to either, shift back to these more expansive requirements, or be willing to recategorize this as grade 14. Knowing what I know of the field, this is my husband's field, I have a sense of what people are paid, and I think it's fine to accept a bachelor's degree, but more likely to be more in that 120 range for someone that would come in for this kind of municipal work at this level. So, and I think that in and of itself was something that we discussed in committee. I think that it might make more sense to do that long term. But if we want to, keep it as is, see if we do find the right person, right? This is a new role for us as a city. There's going to be a little bit of going back and forth to make sure we have the right person and that we have the right qualifications. So if we want to make the change, I'm fine with that. I just think we have to be ready for if we can't hire someone, we might need to reconsider the range. I'm happy to change it, make it a higher level of qualification, and then see if we can find that person. If we can't, we just have to be ready to come back and change it to grade 14. Thank you.
Counselor Sullivan.
Just through the chair, our neighboring communities seem to have had no trouble finding someone within that range with a much higher qualification than what we're looking for. So I don't see a problem to lower the standard.
Okay, on the motion to amend, it's section 2-294, section C, which says right now it says the director of technical assistance shall be appointed on the basis of administrative and professional qualifications and shall be especially fitted by education training in either 3 to 5 years previous successful experience in an IT management role and a possession of a bachelor's degree or higher in information technology, public administration, business administration, or an equivalent field, or possession of a high school diploma or associate's degree, or 7 to 10 years relevant experience in an IT management role to perform the duties of the office. Counselor Sullivan has proposed amending that to removing everything after field, correct?
Correct.
Okay. On the motion, I think I want a roll call because I don't feel like. So the clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you're voting to adopt the change proposed by Counselor Sullivan.
Purcell.
Yes.
Israel Rivera.
No.
Jenny Rivera.
No.
Sullivan.
Yes.
Tallheimer.
No.
Bacon.
Yes.
Anderson Burgos.
Yes.
Devine.
No.
Graney.
Yes.
McGrath Smith.
Yes.
Masonette.
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti.
Yes.
Hanich.
Yes.
9 yeas, 4 nays.
Okay, so that passes. On that, I'm going to go back to the original motion, which was to pass the second reading. Not seeing any other discussion. So the motion was to pass the second reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay.
Motion that the passage be ordained as amended.
Second.
And the motion was made and seconded that the passage be ordained as amended. The clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you are voting to adopt item 16.
Madam President,
Counselor Bacon.
I would like to offer one more amendment that we restore the appointing authority of the council to the assessor as it was stated the legal form says.
Is there a second?
Second?
Under discussion, the motion was made and seconded to suspend the rules and allow, no, not suspend the rules, jeez. The motion was made and seconded to amend the version before us to reinstate can you say that again?
To restore the appointing authority of the council for the assessor. We just reappointed her for 3 years.
But it's incorrect. We still have that authority. So I don't understand how we can make a motion on something that
In here, they've changed the title of chief assessor to director of assessing, which is the same person.
But Councilor McGrath Smith addressed that and talked about how it's the Board of Assessors.
But it's the same person. It's the same position.
No.
Yes, it is.
No. I'm sorry, I
Through the
disagree.
president to the chair.
Okay, I guess my opinion doesn't count. Councilor McGrath Smith, go
I'm
for it.
just clarifying
No, it's
what
okay.
she
Go ahead,
said,
Councilor McGrath
because
Smith.
it's
You got
Debbie
it. No,
Brunel.
thank you. Councilor McGrath Smith?
I would defer to the city solicitor to clarify. Maybe that would suffice.
Respect. It's
The charter, the city council appoints the members of the Board of Assessors. Under state law, the Board of Assessors is the determining body for all tax-related matters. Under this scenario, the former head of the Board of Assessors, who is the staff person, really, in the assessor's office, chief assessor, would now become a staff person under the finance department, known as the director of assessing. The positions, 3 positions, unpaid positions on the Board of Assessors would continue, and it would be up to the council whether to appoint the director of assessing to one of those positions. The positions on the Board of Assessors would continue to require residency. So I hope that clarifies things a little bit more. Thank you.
And if I can just further clarify.
Sure, Counselor Bacon.
We're talking about Deborah Brunel, correct?
Counselor, Attorney
Through the
Bissonnette.
President to the attorney?
Yep, Attorney Bissonnette.
Sorry, Councilor Bacon, I didn't quite catch the
Oh, sorry, I
reference.
was away from my mic a little. I apologize. So in this scenario, we are talking about the position currently held by Debbie Brunel, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Thank
and
you.
You're quite correct. She was just reappointed at the last meeting.
Thank you.
We good? Okay, so on the motion, the motion was to finally adopt, no?
To restore the appointing authority of the city council for the director of assessors.
Okay. There was a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
No.
No. Okay, that doesn't pass. Back to the original. Okay, sounds good. If that's what you want. The clerk will call the roll.
Purcell,
No.
Israel Rivera,
I'm sorry, are we voting for the amendment again?
No.
Yeah, so me calling it in that it didn't pass wasn't, Counselor Bacon would like a roll call vote on that same vote.
Okay, so that's a no again.
Yep.
Jenny Rivera,
No.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Tallheimer,
No.
Bacon,
Yes?
Anderson Burgos,
No.
Devine,
No.
Graney,
Yes.
McGrath Smith,
No.
Masonette. No. Murphy Ramboletti,
No,
Panich,
No.
3 yeas, 10 nays.
that does not pass. Okay. On the motion that the passage be ordained as adopted, as amended, the clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you're voting to adopt item 16.
Purcell,
15.
15.
Sorry. It's been hours. I'm tired. 15, item 15. Thank you.
Yes.
Israel Rivera,
See, yes.
Jenny Rivera,
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Tallheimer,
Yes.
Bacon,
No.
Anderson Burgos,
Yay.
Devine,
Yes.
Graney,
Nay.
McGrath Smith,
Yes.
Masonette,
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti,
Yes.
Panich.
Yes.
11 yeas, 2 nays.
With that, you have passed item 15.
Motion to go to item 16?
That's all right.
Second.
We don't, that's fine. We're just going to go. I'm going to keep going.
Okay.
Thank you, though. Item 16 is the Committee on Ordinance, to whom is referred an order that the council holistically review minimum qualifications for all job descriptions for an established finance department based on the longtime DLS guidance to ensure internal controls, clear lines of accountability, and appropriate education and skill level. Recommended that the order be adopted. Councilor McGrath Smith.
Thank you, Madam President. In many ways, we should have taken this as a package with 15. I think we very much already covered this ground. The committee spent a lot of time looking through the job descriptions, and this was ordered to be complied with. It was a 4-to-1 vote.
Okay. So is this, it said here recommended that the order be adopted, but
that's different than my notes, but I'm not going to second guess that. Adopting the committee report would be accepting that we've approved the job descriptions as we were able to review them.
We just reviewed them.
That's right. They were voted on as a package in committee.
Got it.
All right, so recommended that the committee report be adopted is what I heard. Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. 17 is the Committee on Ordinance, to whom is referred an order that a procedure for tracking updates of Municode be created for ordinance similar to the grant reporting procedure established by Councilor Bartley. Recommended that the order be given a leave to withdraw. Councilor McGrath-Smith.
Thank you, Madam President. This is related to the issues that we've been having with Municode, which all of us are aware of, which has not been updated since July. And we have so many updates that have not been made in Municode to our ordinances. And I sort of pursued two tracks, both in charter rules and ordinance, trying to figure out like what's the right move in order to make sure that we have a reporting mechanism for this, to make sure that we're keeping our eyes on which ordinances get actually put in Municode. And when, and following up on them. And after the charter and rules discussion, it was just clear that that's the right path for it to take. And so we're giving it leave to withdraw an ordinance.
Okay. The motion was to give leave to withdraw. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. Was there a second there?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. 18 is the Committee on Ordinance, to whom is referred an order that the DPW install a handicap sign at 182 Lyman Street for Ricardo Oquendo.
Could we take
Counselor,
Could we take 18 through 22 together as a package?
18 through 22. Motion's been made and seconded to suspend the rules to take items 18 through 22 together as a package. On the motion to suspend the rules, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, so 18 is for 182 Lyman Street. 19 is, these are all handicap parking space requests, except for 22. 22 is to be removed.
Can we separate out 22, please? Since it's
second?
different.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to amend that and take items 18 through 21. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, so they're all requests for handicap placards installed. 19 is for 12 Grover Street. 20 is for 5 Clinton Avenue. 21 is for 330 Maple Street, apartment 19. And all of these have recommended that the order be adopted. Councilor McGrath-Smith.
Thank you. We were able to review each of these requests, and they came to us with all of the documents that were required and also approval from the Disabilities Commission. So it is our committee report for us to adopt them and to refer these to DPW for installation.
So it's motion to pass the first reading.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's a motion to pass the first reading. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Or motion to pass the second reading?
Second.
Motion to pass the second reading.
Motion's been made and seconded to pass the second reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion that passage be ordained.
Motion that the passage be ordained has been seconded. Any other discussion? The clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you are voting to adopt items 18 through 21.
Purcell,
Yes.
Israel Rivera,
Yes.
Jenny Rivera,
Yes.
Sullivan,
Yes.
Tallheimer,
Yes.
Aiken,
Yes.
Anderson Burgos.
Yes.
Devine,
Yes.
Graney,
Aye.
McGrath-Smith,
Yes.
Masonette,
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti,
Yes.
Panich.
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
Okay, with that, you have passed those items. I am here to remind you that there are now 19 minutes left in this meeting as according to our rules. We're close, but I would, well, we can cross that bridge when we get there, right, guys? Okay, so just keep that in mind.
Motion to take up item 22.
22 is the Committee on Ordinance, to whom is referred an order that the 2 handicap parking spots, excuse me, on the west side of Ivy Ave be removed. The residents where they are located have stated nobody in their building uses them, and the spots limit on-street parking. There's also no record of a resident with a handicap placard applying for them. Recommended that the order be adopted. Counselor McGrath Smith.
Thank you. There's a lengthy conversation about this one. It's an order that has a lot of history behind it. In effect, there is no record of there being a specific resident who was able to request this through the clerk. There seemed to be more spots than were needed. There was one that absolutely needed to stay. There was an outstanding placard for one person. And so the committee report was that we remove those two on the west side of Ivy Ave. And also just encourage, if there's someone who lives on Ivy Ave and they feel like they have a handicap placard and they want to see one of them reinstated, absolutely, please go through the process of reaching out to the clerk and going through that process of doing that. So the motion is to accept the first reading and adopt the committee report.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to accept the committee report and adopt the first reading. Under discussion, Counselor Bacon.
Thank you. So during the committee meeting, I offered a friendly amendment that I think would make for peace in the neighborhood instead of creating potential conflict, which was to eliminate one of the spots, because over the years they have been used, if not all the time, certainly intermittently, and it is a busy area in there with storefronts, as well as I understand the apartments are filled now. Historically, if there has been a request from the neighborhood, we have honored that. If there's been objection to the change, we've also honored that. And I feel that to amend it to remove one of them, then it opens up a space, but it doesn't cause competition for only one that would be remaining. And I would like to offer that as an amendment.
Okay, so that was.
I'll second it.
Motion was made and seconded to amend. Can you restate that? That was a really long sentence. Amend to allow.
Amend to eliminate.
To remove one.
One handicap space rather than two.
The motion was made and seconded to amend the order to remove one spot instead of two. Under discussion, Counselor Graney, I have Counselor Graney with your hand up.
Yeah, this is a longstanding argument that's gone on with the council going back years. There's numerous parking places in back of that building. And there's an elderly woman that lives there that has had her, that has had a handicap spot that she needs desperately because she's a senior citizen. And I've been to that position, I have been to that location on more than one occasion where some of those other handicap places have also been taken up. So I just want to preserve a handicap to make sure that this woman, who is almost 90 years old, has access to a handicap position. If two of these places, positions are eliminated, and somebody does have a handicap sticker and parks in that woman's place, she's not going to be able to get in and out of her apartment. So I second Councilor Bacon's amendment to eliminate one of the parking places, one of the handicaps.
Thank you. I have Counselor Anderson Burgos and then Counselor Devine and Counselor Rivera. Got it.
So thank you, Madam President. So as a Ward 6 City Councilor, it is correct what Councilor Graney said. This has been going on for so many years. And the constituent he is referring to owns a property where one of the handicap, because there's three, by the way. So Ivy Street, very short street, has 3 handicap parking spaces. The owner of the house, who also has a driveway, has a handicap parking space in front of her house, eliminating one parking space. Then I find out through many years of digging and digging and digging. Here's what I found out. So when I filed this in 2018, and this is going back to Ivy Street, the people that live in that building have had horrendous times. And I can imagine right now, okay, think about all that snow and all the chaos that's going on. It's even more difficult. The people that live at 9 Ivy Street keep calling me. As a matter of fact, called me during this storm. Here's what happened. Listen, I went not only to the city clerk's office, who confirmed with me that there were no attachments, no placards to those handicap parking spaces, which means that it was done breaking the rules. Talk about, like, let's follow rules. The rules were broken, and it's all on record, it's all recorded, and I don't want to drag this out, but I need the new city councilors to understand me. You guys seen my work. I would never, ever do something that would hurt any constituent, and I would never, ever do anything intentional to hold things up. I did my homework. This is the ward that I represent. And for years, I was not allowed to represent that short street. And I wonder why. And I won't go into details, but I guarantee you, I did my homework. I did my homework for every single one of you and then some. So please, remove the two that were not properly placed there to begin with. Thank you.
Thank you. I have Councilor Devine and then Councilor Rivera. I will once again remind everyone that we are all sounding a lot like the ordinance committee meeting. So I'm just going to keep reminding everyone. Councilor Devine.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted, my first thing was to let the DPW know that those two were going to be removed since there were so many others that wanted a handicap placard. In the meantime, I got a call from the woman who I've known for years, who, regardless of her age, she's driving up to Adams to visit her sister, and she really believes in her heart that that handicap spot is hers. And I tried to explain to her, you have a driveway. And her answer was, my car won't fit in the driveway. So my suggestion to her, I said, anybody can park in that spot. You don't own it, and if you want to go down to the parking authority or the parking commission and talk to them, but the first thing they're going to do is say, you have a driveway. So I just wanted the two handicap spots that were never applied for given to the DPW so they don't have to go make two more signs.
Okay, we'll take note of that. Councilor Rivera?
Yeah, I just wanted to point out that I was formerly chair of ordinance, and I was ordinance 2 years before that. And my 4 years on ordinance, I have never seen us approve a parking space without an application attached to it. Not once. So to say that we've done this in the past, historically, maybe years ago, and if it's correct or not, that has nothing for me to say. I can only speak about my experience since I've been here, and since I've been here for the 4 years, doesn't matter who you are. If you want if you want a handicap parking space within your neighborhood, you have to apply for it. And there's nothing barring anyone else that needs the space to do the same thing. The Handicap Commission, the Disabilities Commission is not going to say no if it doesn't warrant it. Like, they're going to be fair and just as they've been with everyone else. No one is saying that you can't have these spaces. We're just asking, for the sake of the process that we're trying to come up with to keep track of all the handicap spaces, like former Councilor Carmen Ocasio, who was going through the process, knocking on doors, finding out who was what and where, and to ease the burden on the clerk's office on figuring out when someone moves out or doesn't move out. It makes sense that you come in and apply for the space. Granted, the space is not yours, but at least we have a tracking mechanism to know why was it applied, who applied for it, and when does it need to be removed. For us to just have it up there arbitrarily, it's not fair to the clerk, it's not fair to a lot of the work that Carmen Ocasio did in the past, and it's not fair to other constituents that live in the neighborhood and other ones that have applied for their spaces. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Bacon.
So I would just note that I believe this individual lives in either a 2 or 3 family home, and we have ordinances that require people to park in driveways, and driveway cannot accommodate that. And in the history of the city, I'm happy to see now on this vote, we're concerned about process. Last time, not so much. So, But in the face of an objection and creating competition for one handicap space in that area where there have been 3, I think is very unfair to the constituent. And I think we're here to provide constituent service, and I think a great deal of improvement could be made by doing the one, and I hope folks will vote for the amendment that is on the floor. Thank you.
All right, on the floor is the amendment to instead remove one handicap parking spot instead of both. All those, or on the motion to amend, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I mean, yes. Okay, wait. All those in favor?
Aye.
No? Any
No.
opposed?
No. No.
My brain is going with your amendments, everyone's amendments. Okay. That does not pass. Now we'll go back to the original motion, which
Pass the
was
first
to
reading.
pass the first reading. All those in favor?
Aye. Motion to pass the second reading.
Can I do, hold on. I gotta do, any opposed?
No.
Okay.
A motion to pass the second reading.
Motion's been made and seconded to pass the second reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Motion that the passage be ordained.
Motion that the passage be ordained has been seconded. The clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you are voting to adopt the committee report and remove the 2 handicap parking spots on the west side of IBF.
Purcell.
Yes.
Israel Rivera.
See.
Jenny Rivera.
Yes.
Sullivan.
No.
Tallheimer.
Yes.
Bacon.
No.
Anderson Burgos.
Yes.
Divine.
Yes.
Graney.
No.
McGrath Smith.
Yes.
Murphy Ramboletti.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I forgot Mason. Sorry. Murphy Ramboletti.
Yes.
Panich.
Yes.
10 yeas, 3 nays.
Motion to extend our meeting by 15 minutes.
Second.
So first of all, with that, that does pass. And there was a motion to extend the meeting by 15 minutes. It was seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
No.
No.
Okay. We'll stay, we will continue until 10:15. All right, item 23 is the Committee on Finance, to whom was referred in order an assessor attend a finance meeting to explain the home values and how they are determined. Homeowners are questioning the consistency and fairness of assessed values and resulting tax increases throughout the city. Recommended that the order has been complied with. Counselor Devine.
Yeah, this a motion to pass the first reading? No, just.
Complied with.
This was, Debbie Brunel, the chief assessor, came in and explained about the home values per request of Counselor Vacan. It was an incredible piece of information that some of us never ever had. So she talked about that there were guidelines set by the Mass Legislature. The DOR, Division of Local Services, oversees the assessors to see if they are following the correct procedures. Assessors do not increase or decrease taxes. Values are the same way in all 51 cities and towns. Assessors inspect building permits and demo permits. If permit wasn't taken, the assessor has no way of knowing. And she said the best thing that people could do if they want to see their card and what their house has, to just call the office 8:30 to 4:30, and the number's 322-5550. She'll be happy to, to sit down with you or mail your card to you. And if the person has any questions, by all means, they're very cooperative down there, and they will take care of her. And I'd like to thank her for all the information that was given.
Thank you. So the motion was that this has been complied with. Is there any other discussion? Counselor Bacon?
I'll be brief. I would just like to add that for folks who see discrepancies on their card during the abatement period that is noted on the taxes, the bill that you receive, which I believe is ending shortly, if you find things that are incorrect, you might receive an abatement right within the abatement window. If you notice a change outside of the abatement time, your record will be updated, but it wouldn't affect your bill until the next term. Okay, so that's just a clarifying piece of information, but you can correct the information at any time during the year. Thank you. And thanks to our chief assessor for coming in.
Thank you. Councilor Rivera?
Yes, through the Madam President to Councilor Bacon. To add to that, correct me if I'm wrong, I remember hearing the assessor also say that people, to correct it, would have to be willing to allow them to the house to make sure that all the corrections are correct.
Councilor Bacon?
Yes, I believe that she did say that.
Okay, which means that if they find something higher too in your house, that your assessment can go
Well,
higher.
right. I think it's a situation where sometimes the square footage is off, and that could make a huge difference. They might have the house with 2 bathrooms, it only has 1. I mean, things like that. I think those would be generally things that would affect if they think you have a patio and you don't. But yes, if you do request a change, they will come out to your property. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, on the motion that the order has been complied with, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. 24 is the Committee on Finance, to whom was referred an order that the City Council accept the provisions of the, is it fiscal year 26 Shannon Community Safety Initiative, CSI, which is $415,951.56, no match. It was recommended that the order be adopted. Councilor Devine?
Yes, Sergeant Zerhide was unable to attend, but I did speak with him, and he gave me some information, and it did pass the Finance Committee. It's a 20% match that's fully covered by the partners. The city's match is 0. It's always been structured that way. I believe the match noted on the agenda was just a typo when it was added by the auditor. Last year, the grant served over 480 at-risk youth across Holyoke and Chicopee. The grant was reduced by 30% this year for all recipient cities. That reduction was spread evenly across all partners, and we're confident that even with the cut, our core services will remain intact. The key partners include Mass Hire Holyoke, Palante Transformative Justice, the Holyoke Boys and Girls Club, the Chicopee Boys and Girls Club, the Center of Resilience, and the Holyoke and Chicopee Housing Authorities, and the Hampden County Sheriff's Office. And Councilor Israel Rivera suggested that they be give us a list of how many of these, how much does Mass Hire get out of this grant? How much does the Holyoke Boys Club? So as soon as that comes in, he did say he would take care of that. Jeffrey can give that to the City Council.
So I would entertain a motion
to that the order's been to adopt the order.
Second.
For
motion to pass the first reading.
Yep. That was made and seconded.
Motion to pass the second reading.
Nope. Hold on.
I always get so confused.
It's okay. It's getting late, and I've been going since 6.
Wow.
5:30. And I'm not even employed.
Me?
Crazy. All right. So on the motion to pass the first reading, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion to pass the second reading.
Motion was made and seconded to pass the second reading. The clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you are voting to adopt 24.
Purcell?
Yes.
Israel Rivera?
Yes.
Jenny Rivera?
Yes.
Sullivan?
Yes.
Tallheimer?
Yes.
Bacon?
Yes.
Anderson Burgos?
Yes.
Devine?
Yes.
Graney? McGrath Smith?
Yes.
Masonette?
Yes.
Murphy and Bloody?
Yes.
Hanich?
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
With that, you've passed 24. 25 is the Committee on Finance, to whom is referred an order that the amount of $3,500,000 is appropriated for the purpose of financing the demolition, remodeling, reconstruction, engineering, construction, equipping, or re-equipping of various city facilities, roads, and sidewalks, including the payment of costs incidental or related thereto. Further ordered that the mayor is authorized to contract for and expend any state aid available for the project, and that the mayor is authorized to take any other action necessary or convenient to carry out these projects. Further ordered that the treasurer is authorized to file an application to qualify under Chapter 44A of the general laws, any and all of the bonds or notes authorized to be issued pursuant to this order, and to provide such information and execute such documents as may be required for such purposes. And further ordered that there shall be no change in the purpose of this bond authorization without prior vote of approval by the Holyoke City Council. It's recommended that the order be adopted. Councilor Devine?
Is this past the first reading? Okay.
That was a motion?
Yes. Motion to pass
the first reading.
Second.
That's been seconded. Under discussion, Councilor Devine.
This was an excellent discussion. The mayor was there, the treasurer Casey was there, and I have to give so much kudos to the engineer Victoria. How hard she works. She gave a great presentation on the paving of roads, as well as using gravel if some places want gravel instead of not concrete.
Asphalt.
Thank you. And the mayor spoke, Rory Casey spoke, the finance committee. I'm extremely proud of this finance committee because they were prepared. They had their questions. They had their questions answered. And there was no pontificating, nothing like that. It was strictly, let's find out what this is all about. And in the end, it was voted 5-0 in favor to have the mayor and the treasurer look to appropriate the financing for demolition, remodeling, reconstruction, engineering, construction, equipment, or various city facilities, roads and sidewalks, etc.
Okay. Any other discussion on the motion? Oh, sorry, Councilor Bacon.
Thank you. So I didn't ask the question relative to the bond because I didn't think we had an issue with our bond rating anymore. But now we just got this letter from DLS, and so I'm wondering what the status is relative to being able to bond for this, because they're saying the state covered for us for this default issue. So was that ever documented anywhere?
So if I may, and I do see Councilor McGrath-Smith's hand up, and I will allow her to speak, but one of the late filed orders was a memo that was requested by Councilor McGrath-Smith related to your question, and Treasurer Rory Casey submitted a detailed memo that explains the differences, which have been explained to us at multiple.
So we have that
Correct.
memo?
Yes.
All right. I'm sorry, I didn't
It's
see.
item 69.
Oh, all right.
And so it's okay. It was a late file.
I'll withdraw the question.
Okay, we had a lot of late files today, so I can appreciate that y'all did so good at the last meeting,
read
but I
it.
knew. That's okay. Councilor Rivera.
Yeah, so real quick, so for process, should we entertain a motion to take that as a package with that?
I would be happy to do
So
that.
I'll motion to take up,
that.
what number was that item?
69.
69, not 67, right? So, okay.
No.
Right. So
That is so 2 months ago. So the motion was to suspend the rules and
'em up
take
as a
up
package.
item 69 as a package with, what were we just on?
We were on 25.
25. On the motion to suspend the rules, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so,
then,
yes, let me just read it into the
Okay, go
record
ahead.
real quick. The city treasurer, it's a communication from Rory, our city treasurer. It's a memo regarding $3.5 million road repair bond, S&P rating, and our debt model. Councilor Rivera?
yes, no, the presentation was great. I appreciate the mayor, treasurer, and Victoria Hool. I hope I say her last name correctly. Who is the acting city engineer for now, I guess. But I think I'll probably be voting no on this, not because of the issues around and the nuances with regards to our bond rating, but more about equity for me, about where the money is going to be spent. If we're requesting the whole city to kind of chip in this particular bond. For me, it's about how we take the approach and making sure that the whole city is kind of reaping the benefits of taking out a loan. It was explained to me that there's a rating and there's a system in place, and I fully understand that. I get it. But I also have to stick to my guns and why I was elected with regards to being equitable and making sure that we're being fair to everyone in the community. So just had to put that out there. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor McGrath-Smith.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to read one short section from the memo just into the public record. This is from our treasurer. As for the status of our bond rating, the city currently maintains an A+ bond rating from Standard & Poor's, and the most recent Standard & Poor's rating report is attached. In a recent communication, the DLS included an inaccurate statement indicating that the city's bond rating was pulled in October 2025. They may have been referring to Moody's rating, which was pulled in 2024. This has been discussed in front of council on a number of occasions over the past year. In addition, there seems to be confusion related to the city's use of the state qualified bond program. While it's true that the city did use that program to finance certain short-term debt, there was never a scenario in which the city would have defaulted. The concern in October was what type of market access we might be able to secure since the FY23 audit was not completed, which is why we worked with the state to access the program. The DLS made an exception to allow the city to use it for short-term purposes, but note that all of the city's existing long-term debt, with exception of water and sewer debt, was issued using this program, largely just because interest rates are typically more favorable. So I just wanted to name that into the record. And then I also just wanted to clarify that effectively what we're looking at is, the Finance Committee was able to give framework, was able to weigh in and say, here are the priorities as we're hearing them. And using the rating system for the roads that we were able to get done last year, we're able to look at some roads that are just tricky for a variety of reasons that really cannot get paved underneath our current budget. And so it makes sense to bond for them and to be able to start getting at the severe backlog that we have across the city. We all get the calls. We all know that there's a lot of work that needs to get done with our roads. So we have $2 million for that, and then 1.5 that is for work that needs to occur to the city hall, the annex, the DPW, and the police headquarters. So largely work that's really going to directly impact our employees who are in some cases, really substandard buildings. And it's bringing these up to code and bringing them up to spaces that somebody would feel comfortable sitting in a break room because it has functional ventilation, right? These are basics that we're doing to these spaces here to make these more appropriate for our city employees or to secure the envelope of a building, along with $2 million of road work.
Thank you. I have Councilor Graney.
Councilor Graney would request that we move the question.
Okay, thank you. The motion was to pass the first reading. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion to pass the second reading. The clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you're voting to adopt item 25.
Purcell?
Yes.
Israel Rivera?
No.
Jenny Rivera?
Yes.
Sullivan?
Yes.
Tallheimer?
Yes.
Bacon?
Yes.
Anderson Burgos?
Yes.
Devine? Yes. Graney?
Yes.
McGrath-Smith?
Yes.
Masonette? Murphy Ramboletti?
Yes.
Panich?
Yes.
12 yeas, 1 nay.
Thank you. With that has passed, and I would entertain a motion to receive item 69. Motion's been made, well,
So moved.
so moved and then seconded.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. So moved. We have 4 minutes.
Motion to extend by 15 minutes.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to extend the meeting by 15 minutes to 10:30.
Madam Chair,
Councilor Greeny?
if we stop editorializing, we won't have to keep moving.
I would love to, yes. The time that it took you to say that, though, is also, so, like, work with me here.
It's something that needed to be said.
Why, because I didn't say it?
Oh, jeez. All
right.
I'm not casting aspersions on the chair at all.
The chair's doing the best she can with the
Well,
cards
that's
she's
wonderful,
dealt.
and that's what
Thank
we
you.
expect.
Great. Onward to the question. The motion is to receive. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, I'm going to keep doing my job. Go back to the regularly scheduled agenda. Oh, no, because I got distracted again. So the motion was to extend to 10:30. If folks could stop distracting me, we can move this forward. Thank you so much. On the motion to extend the meeting until 10:30.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay. I literally heard one aye. Is that what you guys want? Like, you got to work with me here, people. What are you doing?
Aye.
Aye or no? Aye. Okay. Item 26 is thank you, Finance. Item 26 is the Committee on Development and Government Relations, to whom was referred an order that the council review and approve the sale of the property located at East Hampton Road, parcel number 144000057, to the interested abutter. Recommended that the order be adopted. Councilor Rivera?
I have to admit, I didn't prepare for this one because I thought I resigned. But hey,
You did. Would you like me to pass it on to the vice chair to give the report?
that would be great, actually. But I mean, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Is the vice chair prepared to give a report? Would you like to?
I could go ahead and opine on it because it's actually simple. A constituent requested that the property that abuts their lot has been they can purchase the lot. The lot has been I guess we own it, and they have been trying to purchase it for quite some time, but we didn't fully own it until now. So my understanding is that it's being sold to them for what, $7,000? And somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. But we all approved. It was a 4-5-0 vote to make the sale to the abutter. I mean, to the abutter of the property that the city owns.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion? All right, on the motion, is there a motion that the order be adopted?
Yes.
Just that?
Motion to pass.
Nope.
No. Okay. Okay.
Just motion that, I would entertain a motion that the order be
Entertain a
adopted.
motion that the order be adopted. It's been a while. I was on the ordinance for a while.
Yes, so that was seconded. The clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you're voting to approve the sale in item 26.
Purcell?
Yes.
Israel Rivera?
Yes.
Jenny Rivera?
Yes.
Sullivan?
Yes.
Thalheimer?
Yes.
Bacon?
Yes.
Anderson Burgos?
Yes.
Yes.
Devine? Graney?
Yes.
McGrath Smith?
Yes.
Masonette? Yes. Murphy and Belletti?
Yes.
Hanich?
Yes.
Unanimous vote.
With that, you've passed 26. 27 is the Committee on Charter and Rules, to whom was referred an order that the City of Holyoke shall create an administrative and finance department. Said acceptance shall be subject to implementation by city ordinance and any necessary amendments to the city charter. This order shall be referred concurrently to charter and rules and ordinance to be considered jointly, with recommendations regarding implementation to be reported back to the city council jointly. Recommended that the order, specific to changes in section 27 of the charter, be adopted. Councilor Panich?
Yes. This obviously was related to quite a long time discussion about what to do with the financial changes. But it included one important change that is not affected by the recent amendments to the ordinance, which is taking the treasurer, which is now going to be an appointed position, or treasurer-collector, out of the line of succession if the mayor is incapacitated. Because this is a position that we reserve for elected officials, and obviously the treasurer-collector is no longer an elected official. So the recommendation is that the order to adopt that part be adopted.
Okay.
Second.
Thank you. The motion has been made and seconded that the order specific to changes in section 27 of the charter be adopted. Is there any other discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. 28.
We need to take a roll call on that.
Oh, we do have to take a, thank you. The clerk will call the roll. If you vote yes, you are voting to adopt 27.
Purcell.
Yes.
Israel Rivera.
Yes.
Jenny Rivera.
Yes.
Sullivan.
Yes.
Tallheimer.
Yes.
Bacon.
Yes.
Anderson Burgos. Devine.
Yes.
Rainey.
Yes.
McGrath Smith.
Yes.
Masonette. Murphy Ramboletti.
Yes.
Panich.
Yes.
Unanimous vote, 11 yeas.
With that, you have passed 27. Item 28 is the Committee on Charter and Rules, to whom was referred an order that the City of Holyoke amends any charter ordinance and any other regulations relative to its tax collector and combines the office with its city treasurer so long as a charter change to appoint rather than elect a Holyoke City Treasurer is approved by the legislature and Holyoke voters. Recommended that the order be given a leave to withdraw. Counselor Panich.
Yes, this is an order that was filed early again in the process of changing our finance system. It is no longer really applicable to what's before us. And the suggestion was made by Councilor Bacon, and we all agreed that it was much cleaner to give this a leave to withdraw and move on to a new order that will reflect what we need to do.
Okay. So entertain a motion to give leave to withdraw.
So moved.
Second.
Been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. 29 is the Committee on Charter and Rules, to whom was referred an order that best practices concerning filing orders be discussed and consensus sought. It was recommended that the order has been complied with. Counselor Panich.
Yes, this was a really great discussion. It was brought forward by Councilor McGrath Smith because we are, all of us, inundated with requests for orders from DPW, basically, or for DPW. And the practice has been, unfortunately, that these orders get filed, we take them seriously, we move them to DPW, and then there's no tracking and no ability to prioritize them internally. And we wanted to fix that, basically. And the discussion involved ideas like using SeeClickFix, reaching out in other ways, because as Councilor Bacon pointed out, there are many people who don't have the technical chops to do that, and we need to set up some alternate way for them to report things. And as we developed this idea, we began thinking about things like, could we get any engineering reports that are relevant to these requests, any financial estimates about what this would cost us to fix, where it could fit in a schedule, and just compile all of this so that at every point the council has a working list of what we've been requested to do and what the practical steps are to achieve it, so that we could then, when the time came, weigh requests against each other and have some kind of logical priority for trying to move them forward. And as I say, I thought it was a great discussion, and my question for the council, really, and I think it's not one that we can solve tonight, but we don't seem to have any system whereby we could then compile this into an action document of some kind. And I think that that would be really helpful. But meanwhile, the vote was that the order has been complied with, and we might as well bless that tonight and get it off the agenda.
Okay. Thank you. On the motion that the order has been complied with, is there any other discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, item 30 is the Committee on Charter and Rules, to whom was referred an order that Council Rule 8K be amended to provide that, except where otherwise required by the Charter or state law, any enactment, amendment, or repeal of an ordinance shall be by majority vote of all members of the City Council. This change is needed to restore consistency with the city charter and with the Code of Ordinances. It was recommended that the order be adopted. Councilor Panich.
Yes, and here again, I'm going to invite Attorney Bissonnette to jump in if at any point he wants to correct me or stop me. But here's the situation as I see it. At some point in the last few years, the council adopted an ordinance directing how votes for ordinance changes should be adopted. And we now have an ordinance that says that adoption shall be made by a majority, or a supermajority, 2/3 vote of all councilors present. And what that means is that, in effect, if one councilor is absent and an ordinance change comes up, we could pass it by 8 votes. If 3 councilors were gone, we could pass it by 7 votes, because those are 2/3 majorities of the councilors present. The problem is that actually, despite the ordinance, we can't, because Rule, I've forgotten the 8K, says that no ordinance shall be adopted or considered ordained until it has passed 2 readings plus a 3rd reading, which requires a supermajority vote of the full council. So there's a problem there in that we could enact an ordinance with 8 votes or with 7 votes under the right circumstances, except whatever the ordinance says, no, we can't, because the rule is sitting there. So this change is designed to basically restore coordination and consistency with the ordinance, which, if I understand the history correctly, was passed as a kind of compromise between people who wanted for there to be 9 votes everywhere, every time, and people who felt that that was too harsh a standard. And here I'm only reporting what I heard. I think also there is a question, in my opinion, about whether we should even have this particular rule that we always need a supermajority, but that's the subject of another order. And it is true that if we pass this now, it is not just a decorative thing. It has actual operative force under the rules that we have. And I think our rules ought to conform to our ordinance and not vice versa. So
Thank
that's
you.
what that's about.
Thanks, Meg.
Thank you. Counselor Bacon?
So I'll be the minority report on this. I guess that will be my job for the next couple of years. But we also have a rule that under the first order of business that, am I annoying you?
Not bothering me.
Okay, good. That all votes of the council or any of its committees requiring a 2/3 or more supermajority shall require that same supermajority of the entire membership. That is an overarching rule of our entire rules, which we haven't addressed yet. But the ordinance trumps our rules, and it was a compromise because this was always the rule, and that's how you got to requiring 9. So the question of 8 and a reducing number obviously was the downside of the ordinance, as you noted. But to make it 7 permanently lowers it to any reasonable number that would ever occur. I mean, I've been here for a while. I've never seen that lack of attendance at a city council meeting, particularly with remote available. So I prefer the other rule. I acknowledge that the votes are there to change any rule, and so be it.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? All right, on the motion that the order be adopted, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay, the ayes have it, and that passes. I have 5 minutes to get
Motion
through.
Extend for 10 minutes to get through the motion.
Oh, I had faith in myself. I was gonna just, all right. There was a motion to extend, what?
For 10 minutes.
Second.
10 minutes to.
Hopefully we don't need it all.
Okay, to 10:35 or to 10:40? It helps.
10:40.
Okay. On the motion to extend to 10:40, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay. All right, so we're not discussing motions, orders, and resolutions. I will read them as quickly as I can. 31 is filed by Councilor McGrath Smith, ordered that DPW and engineering develop a draft policy to present to council around which public ways should be returned to gravel and maintained as Class 4 roads versus paved, kept private, non-accepted versus paved, taken over as a public way.
To finance, please.
Send to finance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 32 is filed by Councilor McGrath Smith, ordered at Pearl and Allen that a wrong way sign can be added on the existing posts upon the advice of DPW and engineering. Send to ordinance or?
Yes.
Send to ordinance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 33 is Counselor McGrath-Smith ordered that the DPW Director, Parks Director, Conservation Director come into a subcommittee meeting to discuss the management strategies currently being used to encourage pollinators.
Ordinance.
Send to ordinance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 34 is filed by Counselor McGrath-Smith, ordered that we amend our zoning ordinances in order to require a certain percentage of native plantings in new construction or major rehabilitation projects and bring ourselves into alignment with the Massachusetts prohibited plant list in banning their use.
Ordinance.
Sent to ordinance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 35 is filed by Counselor McGrath-Smith, ordered that the no parking sign outside of 127 Pearl Street be removed. Sent to ordinance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 36 is filed by Counselor McGrath-Smith, ordered that DPW advises if the street sign and one-way sign on Pearl at Lincoln Street should be moved back to the east side of the corner.
Ordinance.
Sent to ordinance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 37 is filed by Counselor McGrath-Smith, ordered that we amend our ordinances to ban the use and local sale of anticoagulant rodenticides. Send to ordinance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
That was funny.
38 is filed by Counselor McGrath-Smith, ordered that we invite in members of the Holyoke Equity Collective and Neighbor to Neighbor to discuss their seedling distribution at the Dwight Street Community Garden and composting programs. Send to DGR?
DGR.
Send to DGR. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 39, filed by myself, is that the City Council approve the resolution for the local tax increment exemption with 103 Lyman Street, and send that to DGR. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 40 is filed by Councilors Panich and Tallheimer, ordered that the City Council rules be examined and revised as necessary to clarify the Rule 9 provisions relating to legal form and committee procedure. Refer to Charter and Rules.
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 41 is filed by Councilor Purcell, ordered that the sale of Holyoke Assessor's parcel be 106 Pine Street to Alan Schneider or his nominee for $5,800 authorized by the City Council on September 17th, 2025, be amended to reflect that the city will receive $4,800 after payment of $1,000 to the buyer's broker. Sent to DGR. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 42 is filed by Councilor Rivera, ordered that the Article 3 titled Community Response Division be added to Chapter 70, Social Services of the Code and Ordinances. Sent to ordinance.
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 43 is filed by Councilor Rivera, ordered that the Kestrel Land Trust, the Conservation Department, and a representative from the Planning Board be invited to appear before the Development and Government Relations Committee to provide a comprehensive walkthrough of the steps, requirements, and processes necessary to designate Elmwood Forest as conservation land. Send,
Leave to withdraw.
give it leave to withdraw?
Yeah, because we already have that.
Oh, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 44 is filed by Councilor Rivera, ordered that the Department of Public Works provide an update on the status and timeline for the repaving of Race Street and Spring Street to Cabot Street.
Leave to withdraw.
Leave to withdraw.
Yeah. We just
We just had a communication from the mayor that work is starting this spring, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 45 is filed by Councilor Rivera, ordered that the appropriate department evaluate the street lighting conditions on Race Street between Spring Street and Cabot Street. Send to
public safety.
Public safety? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? 46 is filed by Councilor Rivera, ordered that the sound permitting ordinance be amended to designate the license board as the granting authority for sound permits rather than the chief of police. Send to,
So just that one I refiled because it got disappeared.
yeah,
Of situation of not following up with it.
Yeah.
But considering my circumstances, if another counselor wants to sign on just to follow up on that, that would be great. If not, then I'll leave to withdraw just not to deal with the drama that
You can add
people are
my
gonna-
name.
Okay.
Same.
Counselor McGrath-Smith and Counselor Jenny Rivera. Thank you.
we will add Councilor McGrath-Smith and Councilor Jenny Rivera
Thank you.
and Tallheimer. All right.
And personnel,
And Purcell.
please.
Yeah, if you could remove my name, that would be great. It's just, that was something that I had.
That's
filed
fine.
Last
We get
summer.
it.
Boom, thank you.
Got it.
I didn't even want to.
Nope, got it. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And this was going to ordinance.
No. Ordinance.
You okay?
Ordinance.
I just, yeah. I
Okay,
just said
because
no.
I didn't,
That's all.
that's fine. I was asking all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And I said no.
Right, but I didn't ask that yet, so, got it. 47 is filed by Counselor Rivera. It's ordered that the school department be requested to provide an overview of the district's current early literacy instructional model. Send to the joint schools
and
city council committee. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 48 is filed by Counselor Sullivan, ordered that the city council invite the Board of Health to a DGR meeting to discuss the vacant building fees and get an update. Send to DGR. All those in favor? Any opposed? We did 49, 50, 51. 52 is filed by Counselor Bacon, ordered that the Mayor Garcia and Open Architects TJ Plant provide an update on the status of 23, 24, 25 financial reconciliations and free cash.
Refer to finance.
Refer to finance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 53 is filed by Counselor Bacon, order that the mayor please provide the city council with a copy of the contract for CAFO.
Receive, adopt, and send the request to the mayor.
Receive, adopt, send the request to the mayor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 54 is filed by Counselor Bacon, order that our auditor treasurer provide an updated summary and schedule of our bonds, debt, and what percent of our budgets this represents. Send to finance.
Yes, and a copy to our auditor and appointed treasurer.
Send send to finance with a copy to the auditor and the treasurer. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 55 is filed by Counselor
Did it.
Bacon. The city council requests city.
Done.
Oh, we did that one.
56.
Sorry, didn't mean to bring that up. We're doing all right. 56 is filed by Counselor Bacon. Order that HPD, HFD, and DPW provide a quarterly summary, no individual information report to the city council on employee injuries, including the number of employees out, injured, length of time out, nature of injuries, and any actions taken to reduce injuries. Refer to public safety with a copy to each department. Second.
Yes, that'll be okay. Thank you.
Okay. If you want it somewhere else, just let me know.
It's okay.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 57 is filed by Counselor Bacon, order that the city ordinance be amended to combine the historical commission and the local district commission into one commission as voted by both commissions.
Ordinance.
Send to ordinance. All those in favor? Any opposed? 58 was filed by Counselor Bacon, order that Counselor Israel Rivera be removed as vice president of the city council while OUI other charges and ethics complaints are pending.
This is complied with.
Okay, motion that this is complied with. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 59 is filed by Counselor Devine, ordered that Chapter 43, Section 90, ACD of the pension law regarding half pay be sent to Finance Committee for discussion with the Retirement Board. Send to Finance.
Finance.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? What?
Can we take 60,
Can we take, thank you.
61, 62, 63,
64.
65 as a package?
Yes, I
Aye.
would love that. Motion has been made and seconded to suspend the rules to take items 60 through 65 as a package. On the motion to suspend the rules, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I will briefly read these. They are all going to finance, and 60 and 61 are to, well, let's see, 60, 61, 63, 64, and 65 are all transfer requests. 60 is for $54,000 from senior civil engineer to professional engineering. 61 is for $350,000 from pay patrol officers and dispatchers to pay overtime. 63 is, 62 is a grant that the city council accept for the Executive Office of Housing and Economic Development One-Stop Program, $265,000, no match. 63 is a transfer request of $1,000 from pay patrol officers to pay stipends. 64 is a transfer request of $3,421,739 as follows. 13 million, I'm sorry, not 3 million. $13,421,739 from Trans to Health Insurance Trust to Trans to Health Insurance Trust. And then 65 is a transfer request for $50,000 from management service contract to professional services other. It was recommended that these all go to finance.
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? With that,
We already do.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thanks.